Whoa, look at all those emojis. Thank you for the cheers and the subs as we get started this morning. Welcome to 20 Sides to Every Story. We are playing Dolmenwood this morning and continuing through our Dolmenwood campaign. This is, I think it's like session 29 that we've been playing this for the better part of, I think like 2.5 years now. Every other week we've been doing this, so thank you for joining us. We are currently following our characters as they're trekking through the forest and trying to make their way to Hoarblight Keep in hopes of enriching themselves on antiquities from the days of the Cold Prince. But before we get started with the game, as always, we'd like to invite you to come join us in our Discord server. You can find the link to that in the chat here, or if you're watching this after the fact, just look into the description of what you're watching or listening to, and you'll find the link to us there. We'd love to have you come join us, talk about the game, talk about games that you're playing in, and potentially find people to play games to play with. All the folks that are on here playing in these games, they at one point or another took up a random invite to come play in a game, and now they're playing here. So we've got a very active group and lots of people to connect with and enjoy the games that we all love. So if you are, I guess kind of an announcement, is I'm changing the way the podcasts are going to go going forward. Probably this was the first podcast that we ever did, and so we put it up on like Spotify and the Apple Podcasts and all those different platforms, and that has gone really well, and that has been awesome. But I'm getting to the point where I think I need to like back that all up, and so I'm starting to put that all up on our Patreon page, and so that's now going to be like a perk for any of the people that support our Patreon. So if you support it like the $3 level or whatever, you'll get access to all the backlog of all of, not just this podcast, but any future podcasts that we have going on. So you can go check that out also. So I am Alex. I'm going to be the GM for the session, although right now it says I'm GM Isaac. Wow.
That happened.
Well,
That's pretty good.
That's pretty good. You get a whole
Need that
different version of
beard.
me. Here we go. So thank you so much for joining us this morning. I'm joined here by Dawson playing Topsy the Grimalkin, Isaac playing Friar Stephen Fitzpatrick, Moreen playing Lillibeth the Hunter, Ryan playing Sir Geoffrey the Knight, and Winston playing Silver the Elf. We're going to be missing Chris, who plays Thomas this morning, but we'll have his character just kind of fade into the background as we get going. For what it's worth, the group is also joined by a hireling. I believe you still have your hunter with you, Kezi. So she is with the group as well. Maybe I will just do a little recap of what happened last time, and then we haven't done like a kind of like character check-in in a while, so we might do that, just kind of see what is going on with all the characters. So last time, basically, the group had a surprise visit from an old friend when Silver unexpectedly showed up at Castle Everdusk, where they were being hosted. And they kind of came up with a plan to return to something that had happened many, many sessions ago, where the group, through the use of one of the one of the dolmen stones, I guess, in the woods, they used it to get insight into the location of the Cold Prince's ancestral home here in Dolmenwood, something of a secret that they might be able to profit off of, as it isn't really widely known where that is, where it's located, and there's a high likelihood that there are antiquities and riches afoot at that place. And so they came together, got supplies, and prepared themselves to head out in that direction and go into the deepest parts of the woods for the first time. Along the way, they decided to make a stop off at a piece of land that Sir Geoffrey has inherited after taking an oath to become a knight of Lord Ramius's order. And so you went and you stopped off and you found that it's kind of like, inheriting some old disused piece of property from some uncle you didn't know, or a family member or something, and it passed down to you, and you went and checked it out, and there's nothing there. There's like an old ruined, unusable watchtower. It's totally overgrown. It would have to be cleared of woods, the woods and such to build construction or whatever. And did we say you found like a cellar or something that went down into like a cave network or something? Like, I don't know. We piled on a bunch of adventure seeds on this property for the time that we return to it someday. But basically you went and assessed, yep, it's a good thing we're going to this castle because we're going to need all the money in the world to hire people to come work this land. From there, you headed into the woods. I think the first thing of note that you came across as you made your multi-day journey is you discovered a ring of stones that you seemingly couldn't approach. Like, you kept getting bounced back from it as you tried to move through the clearing to get to them. I think you just decided that this was not something that it wasn't a part of your agenda to really mess with these stones. And if it was repelling you, maybe there was good reason for that. And so you decided to circumvent that and head further north. You then came across this area where you found these like cultivated mushrooms in different formations. And I think you discovered that they were all kind of like body parts-ish, like some kind of shaped like noses and ears and all sorts of strange stuff. And they're all being cultivated by this skeletal gardener who, like many of the skeletons and undead folk that you've encountered in Dolmenwood, wasn't too menacing and answered some questions for you. Seemed to believe that it worked for someone who lived at a manor somewhere south is what they kind of pointed you towards. I think you started maybe Topsy was getting hungry. There's some comment about maybe eating the mushrooms or doing something that spooked the gardener, who like tried to silence you, but then all of a sudden out of the woods, like these strange like thorn monstrosities came out of the woods, and you had a bit of a battle. You did well. You defeated them, and that's pretty much where we ended at the end of that fight, and healing up and everything like that. So with that, I think why don't we just kind of check in with all the characters, give us a little description of who you are playing, and maybe what they're thinking as you're winding down. You're probably it's evening now, so it's time to get your camp settled and collect your firewood and things like that. It is autumn, so it is pretty chill. The warmth of the fire is probably quite appealing to you all at this point. So why don't we start with Dawson?
Hi everybody, I'm Daw, and I'm playing Topsy the Grimalkin, which, if you don't know yet, is like a little cat dude who just goes around and does cat things. How am I doing in this current circumstance? Well, if you ask me, this is a whole heck of an adventure we're on right now. This is the most like active had in a whole like decade, if not a century. Like ogres, like elves, like weird branch things, plants that look like brains. Whew. It's like the most fun I've had in so long.
Awesome. Let's move next to Issac.
Hello. I'm playing Friar Fitzpatrick. Friar Fitzpatrick, he is he looks beat up this night. He's still recovering from his wounds from the fight earlier. Though he is he's interested to see where we are. He really has kind of lost track himself of where we're at. So he's slightly worried, maybe where we are. But he's also very interested in what he saw earlier with all the body parts and whatnot. And he doesn't want to like lead the group astray, but he definitely is interested in finding out who is in charge of that little garden and manor.
Awesome. Let's go next to Moreen.
So I'm Lillibeth, hunter. I'm really happy to have Kezzy along because I feel like she's great balance in this group. And I'm like the Friar. I'm not disoriented or don't know where I'm at. I'm pretty able to sort of like keep track of my direction and have a innate sense of where I'm going. But that's physically. Mentally, I am still struggling with the fact that since the beginning of this adventure with all the ogres and trolls and brain plants and everything else, I've been burned. I've got permanent scars. I've lost friends, and now I've had a friend return. And so I'm really excited to see Silver, but there's a lot of things that I'm processing about this entire situation. So I'm pensive and not really very talkative right now.
All right, thank you. Let's go next to Ryan.
Yeah, I'm playing Sir Geoffrey the Knight. I would say probably, Geoffrey is probably the opposite of pensive right now. His friend has appeared from out of nowhere to lead them on great adventure. He's seen his land for the first time. Which by all accounts is not all that wonderful, but he is sort of like, oh, yes, when we get the money and we get the people, this will go there, and that, yes, this is glorious for the family. And so he's kind of like taken up some like, yes, I'm a knight and I'm here tonight and I'm going to be knighting, and so with the fact that by his correct or incorrect mind, he's probably only 20 miles or so from his land that they've traveled, and there's these bone creatures tending garden. Like, he sort of is also interested in who's the neighbors, and he kind of wants to check out this manor, or this whoever is gardening out here. At the same time, he also realizes that they're on a mission, right? And so I don't know. He's a little bit squirreled out right now from the mission, which is normal for Geoffrey.
Awesome. And then let's go over to Winston.
Yeah, so I'm Winston. I'm playing Silver upon his brow, Silver for short. He is an Dolmenwood elf. It's a little different than elves in some of the other settings, but he's a little more fairy and fantastical. In fact, he currently has like a purple hue to his skin. And his once long, beautiful silver hair is shorn very close. And he looks like he's been through some rough times in his life. And very recently got very, very hurt from these thorn creatures, but is doing a little bit better now and is resting. His feelings of the whole situation, he was on his original sojourn to the Dolmenwood was to basically participate in like an epic adventure, and he felt like he had done close to that with Joffrey's whole story with the Winter's daughter and all of that. But he really wanted to do more, and unfortunately had to be drawn into the land of fairy to kind of distract and assuage a mad king, and got very serious, got very political for a little while for him, and he's excited to be back out, stomping about in the woods, finding bizarre things again with his crew. And so he's just excited to be back on the path of adventure, though he does know in the back of his head there's a greater purpose. We want to find this castle and see if we can find some useful artifacts, weapons, information from that time period. So he is serious, but at the end of the day, he's having fun. So
awesome. So with that, I think, why don't we move right into like dealing with the camping procedure for the evening? So basically, and this is probably more important now than ever, is like getting a good rest is not just like recovering hit points, but for the Friar, it's about you get your spell slots back the next day. So the rules, just to reiterate, we need people to get firewood so you can build the fire. We need people to fetch water for drinking and cooking. We need someone to be tending to the fire and cooking and doing that role. And then more of an optional role is camaraderie, which normally I wouldn't do this, but since it's Thomas that is the one that's out, we can default Thomas to say that he's doing the camaraderie role. So we just have to figure out these other three. Friar, I think you traditionally have been the cook. Will that remain the same here?
Sure. Yeah, I'll do that.
I'll gather some water.
Silver with the
Generally
water.
firewood.
All right. So water is an automatic. If Topsy and Lillibeth are out doing firewood duty, why don't you go ahead and roll me a d6?
5.
6.
Okay. You will have collected plenty of firewood to get you through the evening and be able to cover not just your time around that campfire, but the entire time that you are resting to keep yourselves warm and dry. Friar, you are going to be doing some cooking.
That's right. I'm rolling below my wisdom.
It is a wisdom check. Yep.
All right. Sounds good. Yeah, we're fine. I got a 7. All good.
So you're all good there. And do you have a reserve of food from foraging that you are using up in addition to like rations? So basically what we've got
If we have anything else.
7 mouths to feed.
I have 2 uses of Mancy horn left, so I'll take those off. And then the rest will be regular rations.
Sounds good. So
Might be time to go hunting and foraging.
Yep.
So we'll have to figure out who is using their ration. I figure it'd be best that we kind of split it up, but we have 6, and I'll use one of mine.
I'll
So
use one
that
of
takes
mine.
care of
Oh,
3.
I'll use one of
Only 3
mine.
more.
How many total rations do we need to use them? Oh, I didn't update my sheet. Oh, never mind. Yeah. I've got 4 rations left.
I will eat one of my rations then.
yeah, I think if everybody here uses 1 ration, then you're square.
Okay. That's what I'll do.
And the Friar is able to turn that into not just rations, but into a tasty dish, a meal that is going to give you a bonus on your con check for the rest tonight. There was some talk of using some tobacco tonight. Is that still a thing you all are considering?
Think so, right?
Well, I did pick up this special shagweed from the one castle that my name is Case. You know, there's so many names you got to remember after all the centuries. It gets really difficult after a time. But this is the Lord's favorite.
I do have a pipe.
I also got a pipe.
Uh,
I look good?
you look great, Topsy. I'm gonna draw you. I'm a little stick figure cat. with
Looks
a pipe.
elegant with the pipe.
You have
In
to
her
put a leg up. Put a knee up.
Oh.
Maybe push down the skirt just a little.
I wear
no.
pants, don't worry about it.
All right, so Topsy is leading us off and has some pipeweed to share. You're sharing with Silver and anyone else?
I'll get in that.
And Friar's in on this?
Yeah, Sir Geoffrey will. If it's good enough for the Lord, it's good enough for me.
Sounds good. So is this Topsy supplying the pipeweed?
Yep.
So
I
you
will
get
mark a
4 uses?
4 uses? You guys can't all be leeching off of my stuff. I only bought enough for me for 3 days. You're all going for it? What?
What
Yes.
did you want to think about?
Well, you guys didn't go and buy your own? That's what I'm thinking about right now.
There is no.
Listen. I can
There-
pitch in. I have a little barley blend left. I can pitch in.
My friend, it is a sin to bogard. Do not bogard.
While you all talk about what your question will be, I'm going to go refill my coffee quick.
Yeah. So question option. So one, are we on the right track? Do we feel like we can sense that we're going towards a lake? You know, that's a little cheap, but we could do that.
Well, are we? I think the obvious for Geoffrey is like he's torn right now between whether we should continue to Hoarblight Keep or we should get squirreled out by the wizard or whatever it is that's controlling the skeletons. So I feel like that's, in his mind, that's like the first question, like what he would pose to the group about asking.
Yeah, that's a good question.
A great question. It's the question, actually.
What about you, Topsy? Good father, good friar.
Oh, I was just here to smoke.
I thought Topsy was a good father since she's had so many litters over the.
Topsy's just gonna zone out, stare into the woods, stare into the fire.
I'm thinking either where we are or where should we be headed. Pretty much, that's where he would be thinking.
Yeah. So I think Ryan's question is Geoffrey's questions hits that
And
spot.
secretly, he's thinking about
Heard it,
what's
so
going
it's
to happen with his brother. And
we could be like, where are we and where should we go or something. That's two-parter. Is that allowed?
I mean, we'll see. So what is the question?
So I think the general idea is we're torn to, should we go explore this wizard? Is that going to be fruitful for our journey, or should we try to head our way to Hoarblight Keep? And cheating, but are we on the right track?
Yeah. I mean, you guys can ask that, but at the end of the day, like, I'm going to answer with probably what you guys would narratively like talk about in RP, because like it's like a weird judgment question where I'll say, well, you don't know what's at the manor, and so it could be fruitful, but it could be dangerous. You know what I mean? Like, you're gonna get like you're not gonna be satisfied with what I say based on that question. Probably.
You're looking for more of a philosophical answer type of deal. Is like,
Ask about the bone gardener.
Should we eat these bone plants?
That's a good one too.
I don't know.
Could also be just, are we, do we feel like we're on the right track to the lake? Like, do we have a sense of like a river or any kind of like vegetation that implies we're on the right track? Could go that way too.
Or where the heck are we?
Well, our minds and feel nature. Do we feel like we're close to a river?
Yeah.
Or a lake.
Sure. That sounds good. If that's what you want to ask. Somebody needs to make an intelligence check, and you've got 3 additional people, so whatever you roll, you can subtract 3 and compare it to your intelligence score.
Who's our smartest member? Do we know that? I mean, I guess, we wouldn't know each other's character sheets, but do we have a sense of who makes the smart decisions around this place?
Not me.
Well, that might not equal intelligence.
If
either,
I were to say, if I was on an intelligence scale, I'd be at the 11.
Okay, I'll take the pipe. Take the pipe out of Topsy's hands.
Hey now, first you draw me, now you steal my pipe?
All right, I'm gonna roll an intelligence check. I'm doing it. -3, right?
Yes, and for what it's worth, you guys have a reroll from Sundance Kid. Thank you so much for that.
I rolled a 15. I don't know if we want to use the reroll on this. I think that'd be a poor decision.
If you minus the 3, are you good or no?
No, that has the -3 baked
Nope.
into it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I rolled an 18.
Ooh.
Ooh.
I mean, we could re-roll it, but we may want to re-roll like a death saving check or save against death.
I think
Yeah, forget it.
I would say,
Yeah,
yeah.
we'll just be lost.
No different than usual.
Well, you just
reroll.
been,
We should reroll.
you
We
just
should
been redeemed
reroll.
a second reroll, so
All right, re-roll again.
Okay, re-roll.
Re-roll.
People want to know.
they want to know.
They want to know. All right, here we go. Failed even worse. I rolled a 20.
Oh, well, we are definitely not supposed to know where we are going.
I mean, we did let Winston make the roll. This is not
That's
something
true.
you didn't expect.
I'm like smoking the pipe. Yes.
You're not
Fall asleep.
inhaling it. You're just smoking it. You gotta enjoy the blend.
It's
You're
a
just,
pipe. You're not
you're
supposed to inhale the pipe.
I
You're
can
just
find
puffing.
the path
You're
that we
ruining it.
need to go on. If we start doing that, I can do it. Okay, I can do it.
I think the problem is I
didn't.
didn't. That's right. She can take us out, and I think the problem is I did inhale. I'm just like, I'm just like coughing up.
Huh.
I failed.
All right.
All
So
right.
you, nonetheless, you enjoy a conversation and a healthy debate about what direction you're headed in. Talking a bit about speculating about going to the manor or going forward. But it is evening. It is dark out at this point. And it is time probably to set up your watch for the evening.
Before we do that, can I chew on some spirit haim that I have? Try to cure a little bit of hit points for myself.
Yes.
I may. If we discussed it, guys, what did we land on exactly? Or did we say let's figure it out in the morning?
Well, if I was the sun and I was in a direction, I'd go that direction, and they point in the random direction that the sun's setting because it's dark out.
I think we should
Excellent.
wait till the morning. I mean, I'll have a better chance of finding a way forward if that's what we need to do. Right now, I'm really sleepy, but I don't think anybody who's been hurt should be staying up for watch. We'll have to split it differently. What do you think?
How many watches do we normally have in a night? 4?
Or, yeah, like 2-hour chunks.
I'll take
Okay,
one.
so
I'm a little beat up, but
How many unbeat up people do we have? If we have 4 unbeat up people, our question is answered. Yeah, I'm not beat up. So yeah, that's 3 of us.
and
How's
Kenzie.
Kezzy? How's Kezzy?
She's good. She could take a watch.
So there we go. There's our four
Yeah.
folks. I will take last watch. Maybe Kezzy will take first watch, and you guys figure out the in between.
I'll do
I'll take-
second.
That would be great.
I'll take the hours between 2 and 5. That's why I'm most active.
Oh, yes. And I'll take the one right after. Is that right after Cassie? Whatever
Yeah,
the
that'll
one's
be
that's
right
right after Cassie.
All right, so I don't know. Silver and Lillibeth are on the same watch.
Yeah,
Sure.
that'll work.
All right, sounds good. Anything you need to take care of before we move into this? All right. So the group finishes their meals, finishes their discussion, and begins to hit their sleeping bags and such and get situated. Kezzy takes up the first watch as you all pass into sleep. Silver, you and Lillibeth are woken up by Kezzy, who informs you that just kind of tells you that there hasn't been anything that is out of the ordinary, and she's tired and she's gonna hunker down. And so then the two of you take up your post, sitting around the fire, looking out into the woods or listening just to the chirping of the birds and the nighttime critters. There's some hooting of owls that you hear far off in the woods, but nothing out of the ordinary, nothing that you haven't experienced these past few nights. It's crisp and cold. You can see your breath on the air, and so you're probably sticking pretty close to the fire just to maintain some semblance of warmth.
Yeah, I'll take out a harp that I brought with me from Ferry, and because in one of my previous lives I was a harpist, and so let's play a little harp with Lillibeth, just kind of pass the time, keep us awake in the cold.
I'll come along with. Try not to fall asleep because I'm still sleepy.
I start playing a lullaby.
Don't do that, Silver. I'll fall asleep.
No, I'm playing a chromatic scale, like we're like just like hard, like thrash metal going harpist happen here. You're up. You're discomforted. Everyone else is maybe a little annoyed. Yeah.
That's more like it. Thank you. Oh, that's energetic. Where'd you learn to
This
play
is
like
from
that?
my hometown.
As your song ends and you're having some small talk together, You hear the sounds of owls hooting again, but it feels like it's like all around you, like just in the periphery of the trees, like maybe 30 feet away, like, and it's like all around you, like it's almost like maddening, like how much it is and how loud and how close it is. You're looking up and you don't see any owls in the trees that are caught within your campfire. And Silver, I think you've got infravision. You don't necessarily see owls in the radius of that.
Oh, probably not owls. Should we wake everybody up?
I think maybe put the harp down, put it back in my backpack.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'll go and just sort of very gently wake everyone without trying to make a big ruckus. And just, I'll wake a couple. Lillibeth, you can wake a couple. Just kind of be like, hey, I think something might be going on. Or there's an unusual animal behavior, possibly. No offense, Topsy. We just need to maybe just pay attention for a second. Just see what's going on. Maybe nothing. Maybe just the oddity of the animals here.
Yeah.
So we're just hearing this
Hooting
hooting,
owls.
like,
On the ground, potentially.
Yeah.
Puts me in mind of owl icons hanging in trees.
Yes, so you know that the owl symbology is a Droon thing.
right?
Not that owls are unnatural in the woods, but that's probably where your heads are turning as this unnatural kind of thing is happening.
Mm.
And so you're waking everybody up, or just Topsy?
I'm waking everybody up. I
Everybody
mean, I
up.
woke Topsy and I like the father and the friar.
Oh,
I think you
I just was making fun of Topsy.
is there anyone seen anything?
Not
can
yet,
hear it.
but
There's a lot of owls, I guess. He's like yawning, like.
Probably at the time that you all wake up in time to experience it and hear it, but then it quiets down.
Huh. I don't know, maybe they were in those stones and having a party. Who knows?
Well,
Thanks.
if you ask me, I'm not accustomed to the owl mating rituals, but you kind of ruined their groove, dude.
Is that what it
think that
was,
might be good.
Topsy? It was. That's what that was.
I don't know, but it was a lot of hooting and hollering.
Topsy,
Well-
I just have a slight concern that maybe our presence is disturbing the Droon.
Come on, who doesn't like us?
The Droon?
A dream?
Probably the drone.
Well, would you like me to make an announcement to said Droon?
No, I think I just want to be on high alert. That's all.
And if you do
Taking
it
out
in
my
the
Pringles.
morning, please. Like, the friar has like one eye open, so he's like trying like to psych himself out, like that he has not woken up yet, even though he's talking. He has one eye
Yeah.
open. He's like, oh, okay.
You
So-
see, like Topsy was clearing their throat, getting ready to do a speech, and then he's told not to.
Do it in the morning.
Fine.
Do
Morning.
it in the morning. So the rest of the night, unless you guys want to do anything like with that, no further disturbances. The rest of the night is peaceful. And basically, why don't you all give me a con check, and you're going to get a +2 bonus. So basically, you'll roll, subtract any con modifier that you have, and this -2, and compare that to your con score. You want to be under your con score.
Happy that we had the modifier.
I did too. Hang on, let me check. Not that it's going to make any difference.
I rolled another 20. Can you believe this? Where are these
You never
20s when
roll
we're
those
we're
things when they
fighting?
count, really?
Yeah, where's it when we need it?
Yeah, I might have a con mod though. I didn't put that in there. I thought it did automatically.
I did try.
Alex, it has to be under, right?
Yes.
Okay. I think even with the con mod, there's no way.
Oh, I'm sorry. You don't need to do one tonight because you have all of the elements you needed. I was looking at winter. Sorry.
We're good.
So you're all good.
Thank you.
Spells
God.
are memorized. You all can regain 3 hit points.
Ooh. Nice.
Oh, I'm sorry. 1 hit point.
We're not.
I thought it was one.
I've been in like 4 different game systems since the last time we played Dolmenwood, so I'm really relying on reading the text and doing a bad job. So sorry about that.
All right.
I was excited.
Ah,
You get 1
I
hit
already
point. You get 1
added
hit
it
point.
up in
Yep.
the math. I forgot what I had originally, so sorry.
all right, Mr. Holy Man, it's June speech time. I got it.
Yes.
Oh, great mighty drone of the woods, don't pay mind to us being here. We're just, passing through, going, checking through the woods, having a grand old time. Don't mind us, and we won't mind you.
So as you are waking up and maybe packing up your things, getting a little bit of food from the leftovers from last night, it is very cloudy and very misty this morning. You can just, like, your campsite is basically what is in your purview, and then everything else is just white, blankets of white, wispy vapor that clings to the limbs and of the trees and such. It's cold. Maybe not quite as cold as it was the previous night, but it leaves you feeling trepidatious about going out, and your exploration might be more difficult today. So, what is the course of travel for the day, or your plans? The options essentially are based on your encumbrance with having a heavy armor user in the group, and the fact that the woods here are not easy to navigate. Like, this isn't walking under, curated trees that, there's somebody here taking care of the land. Like, you're like having to hack through the roughage and everything, and like the terrain is difficult to navigate, and so you really can only move 1 hex per day. So about 6 miles of progress is what you can do. So your options are to move out of the hex that you're in and try to move forward, or we've talked about this, you can always explore a hex for a secret. And so trying to find the manor would be such a thing, trying to find that location that the skeletal gardener spoke of.
So, as a question, if that's the intention and I want to find a path forward and out of where we are, can I use the Wayfarer roll to do that?
Is the Wayfarer roll just you not getting lost?
If you decided that we were lost, then it would help us be unlost.
Yeah, so basically how that I roll that in secret so just so you understand the process, because it's I've determined that it's terrible for the player to make that roll, because then they're like, oh, well, I'm lost, and like it kills that element of it. So I roll a d6 to determine when you move out of a hex and you say, I want to go north. I'll roll a d6 to determine, do you actually stay going north, or do you wary a little bit, or does some element of the Dolmenwood screw you up? Okay. If that d6 rolls and it says, yes, they are lost, then I, in secret, roll your Wayfarer, your percentile, and determine if you are able to correct that or not. And there's there's penalties and modifiers that I apply to your percentile based on the factors. So
like fog and
yep, okay. That's gonna hurt it. So, and then I tell you, here's where you are. Based on you have put effort into trying to stay on the path. So that's what's happening under the hood.
That's helpful. So, it's not great hunting weather. I mean, I might actually stumble over something before I'd actually be able to find it or track it in this weather. Try if we want to hang out, and sort of replenish a little bit. We got Kezzy and me both. One of us might be successful. Otherwise, and I don't know, Topsy might find something, another rat that would help. But other than that, I don't know. Maybe we should cautiously move forward.
I think the question first, so I'm in agreement with you, Lillibeth, that if we move forward, we go forward cautiously. But I think we should go. But the question is, I think Geoffrey maybe has an interest in searching out this manor. So I guess the question I would have is, do we think there's something fruitful there for us? Or should we carry forth?
Well, if you ask me, I believe the best circumstance is to stay in the parts we do know. Well, this whole fog is kind of weird. I mean, I heard people get lost in fog all the time in old stories. It's very scary things. Maybe we just stay in this area for today. Perhaps find this manor houses nearby. They might let us in, have some stuff. Who knows? We could pay them handsomely for their assistance.
You make a compelling
agree.
case, Topsy.
Yes, I maybe for my own selfish reasons, but I feel that I would be interested in this manor as well. Very interesting, the plants they were cultivating, and wonder what else they have. But I'm laying it out there.
In either way, this person, it is raining. It would be difficult to trudge further towards Hoarblight. And this person, they seem to be a magic user of some type. If they're commanding skeletons, they could prove to be have some information on Hoarblight and what we may experience there, possibly as well.
Yes, no, if we do go there, I seems no mention of eating the things and whatnot, purely for information.
But what if you need an extra hand when it comes time?
Uh,
It could be very useful.
we could
I'm
ask
just
about
saying.
what it does. Yes.
They didn't
They could
respond
both lend
well.
us a hand and give us a hand at the same time.
Maybe that's something we could take up with the person who's asking the skeletons to tend the garden instead of just like broadcasting it back out to the plants again. They didn't like it the last time.
We'll feel it out. We'll feel out there with it, what we're feeling from this individual, huh? And we'll see if you want to ask those questions again. We'll have to use our best judgment.
I nominate the Friar feeling it out. You make the call. Topsy, played straight.
Yeah.
So yes, we search for the manor.
Searching for the manor. All right. So you set out. You got a general sense from the skeleton that it is maybe south of where you currently stand, and so you pack up your things and start to move. Kind of covering. You came from the south, so you might follow some familiar landmarks from the previous day a little bit, and start to just, do a loop. Like you're making a concerted effort to like go out, take a look around in the like general like maybe like mile or so of where you've been, and like come back to familiar territory so that you don't get more lost than you maybe already feel. But during the course of the day, Friar, would you be maybe this would be a good time to do some foraging real quick for the day?
That sounds wonderful. Sure. I got a 1. So yes, found something.
You found something. Let me just double check to see if there's anything special. I don't think there is anything special in this hex, but no. Okay. Roll me a 1d6.
That's killing me. I was like, whoa, what are we? What's we gonna roll?
That'd be good. A4.
Okay, and then roll me a d20.
You got it. A 16.
Okay.
If it is common, I do know what it is.
If it is common,
Otherwise, I'd have to roll to see.
you find a bit of a plant that is not common, but you can make a roll to see if you know what it is.
There, I'm looking in my notes that I've collected, and I do not know what it is.
Okay. You find something. It isn't food, but it's sort of a rare. There's something that draws you to it. There's some stones and such about. And there's this like kind of very verdant moss that grows upon it, and
Okay.
almost has like kind of almost like an aura that clings to its
Sounds good.
growth. So there's something about that.
Something about that moss.
Something about that moss. That's good. I'll collect some.
So that happens sometime in the late morning, early afternoon, you come across something that seems fruitful. You begin to see that the terrain kind of starts to take a dip and almost like lower elevation, and you find like this path that kind of leads down into a ravine within the forest. The earthen floor kind of gives way to kind of a rocky shelf onto the left and to the right of you, and like roots and such kind of like growing out from in between the crevices of the rock formation. And you head down, not super deep, but there is a, at some point there's like a 10-foot wall of like earth on either side of you, and it leads down into this ravine where in the middle of it at the bottom you can see that there is this old home, like this old manor home that looks like at one point it was probably opulent and just the epitome of architectural design and such, but it looks like it's probably many centuries old. It is showing its age. The paint is completely worn off of the outer walls. The roof is completely collapsed in, weathered. All of the wood that you can see anywhere on this house is all warped and given way to rot. But somehow the building is still standing. Doesn't look very structurally sound to you. There's even like maybe a tree that has taken hold of a part of the house and is actually like growing up out of the inside of it and creating a canopy over the area.
Isn't what I was hoping for, I guess. I'm feeling a little like creeped out, actually.
Well, I was a wizard. I wouldn't live in a place like that. Do you know what I think would live in places like this?
Lich? Undead wizard?
No, you fool. What are you talking about? Rodents! I was going to say rodents! Like rats. Nasty things.
Yeah, I
I
was
look like a haven for them.
I was gonna say it's giving off ogre witch vibes.
Well, that, it maybe
Might just be my PTSD, but
yeah. Well, that or skin, living skin.
These
No,
suspicions
Livingston, it
are.
was a nice house.
These suspicions are maybe emboldened as you turn to the right and you look at the rock wall. There's a big symbol that's etched into a piece of like limestone that's sticking out of the earth. It depicts a serpent writhing through the mouth and eye sockets of a human skull. It's like a big prominent like sigil that's been marked into the stonework.
not necromantic at all.
You think that's like a noble house looking thing?
It could be. They're strange, and I don't know any of the ones from around here very well.
There's a sound that
Anybody?
you are hearing like in the ravine. It just sounds like a someone chopping wood. There's like a chop.
And the DM is sending, or GM is sending you every signal that you can get the hell out of here.
No.
You hear a groaning
He's-
sound.
He's preventing us from the
No.
good stuff.
Chopping
Just
wood.
chopping
doesn't sound
wood.
Too scary.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's wood.
I mean, I know I'm wearing plate mail, but can I try to look and like see, like, I guess where we're hearing the chopped wood? Do we have a kind of advantage towards it? Is it obscured by trees? What's the sitch there? We see the ravine, we see the house. I'm trying to figure out. We obviously have advantage of some sort.
It's still foggy. Your suspicion is that the sound is coming from somewhere behind the house.
You can try and sneak over. I mean,
I
we
can
are
do it.
outside. Yeah,
What if
we
we-
can.
What if we just like throw a rock away from us
It's not
so it
sneaky.
so it skitters and makes sound and see if it garners any attention or but not so it makes noise where we are.
We can
What-
send a kitty.
What if we harmonize the chopping noises with our own chopping noises?
We're walking. Oh, chop.
Are these
Top-
things that
yeah.
we should be doing? Are you like you've given us? You always give us interesting suggestions. Are these actual things that you've learned that we should be doing in the wood?
If you ask me,
Who,
it's
me?
always good to trust a fae, and I will turn
Oh.
into a cat and skitter away.
Okay, so the Grimalkin transforms into their house cat form and bounds into the fog away from you all.
I think it's time for us to
Better
turn around.
We'll just sit here and wait. Keep our eyes out.
Sounds good. So the group is gonna hang tight and wait for a hopeful report back. I don't think verbalize this, but there were some DM rerolls that came in and a player reroll from Lyra. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, so kitty cat, Miss Topsy, you move through. Oh man, that's
Oh, man.
interesting. Actually, now that I think about what is happening. So okay, you go forward and you go through the fog and you circumvent the old manor house and you get out to the backside where there are a number of trees, kind of like a natural copse of trees that seem to exist down here in the ravine. Hey, Zelda Man, 1, 2, 3, 4. Thank you for the cheer. Thanks for hanging out with us. You get back there and you can see that there's an old like chopping, like a felled oak or something. There's a tree trunk there that is being kind of cultivated or whatever to be the chopping block for chopping quarts of wood or whatever. And there's a woman there, black hair. She's wearing sort of a tattered traveling cloak. Maybe 16, 17 years of age or so, and she is there. She's pretty spry, but she's chopping wood. She's got kind of a pile sitting right next to her. And it looks like she's maybe starting to kind of slow down. It looks like she's assessing the woods, whether she needs to go collect more to chop or whatnot. But as you're coming to the scene, she's like had just finished splitting a log or whatever, and then she's starting to collect up what she's got. She doesn't seem to notice you.
I'll say I probably hop on a nearby log and just observe for now.
You watch as she turns away. She's carrying probably an absurd amount for her to be carrying, but like kind of the thing where like you don't want to make 2 trips from the car to bring in the groceries. Like she's gonna try to bring everything that she's got, and she starts to head towards the manor house. And as she moves over there, there's like a back door. It seems like maybe it's like leads right into like a kitchen area or something where the servants' quarters of this house where that used to be. She opens that up and goes inside. She doesn't seem to take the time to close the door. She just goes inside.
Slip in. Be a cat.
Are you a cat or are you a cat?
I mean, I'm a cat. I mean, I was just gonna throw it to the group, say, "Hey, everybody, I'm gonna do this thing, but if you're really strongly about it, I won't." But everyone
doesn't
seems
matter.
like on
Do
my
it.
side
Oh,
on
you're
this
a
one.
cat.
Won't you? Yeah.
Follow
I'll
your
sleep-
heart.
I'll sleep in
Yes.
like a little kitty cat.
Meow.
Touch everything when you're in there too.
Yeah,
Paw,
knock
paw,
something
paw.
over. Yeah.
All right,
Sit
so
up and knock the one glass object off of the fireplace.
So you're following her inside. And she enters in. Yeah, indeed, it looks like it's an old kitchen that she initially goes into. There's still a semblance of a ruined old like fireplace there that is completely dilapidated. But she moves through and past this room. Some of the halls, she seems like she's very carefully, like she knows exactly which floorboards to step on and whatnot to get safely into the kind of the center where there is where like the receiving hall of the home is. And there you see an archway that has been woven together from like reed and a couple of saplings that have grown up through the floorboards and such. And there's like this weird archway that leads nowhere right there. You see her hold up her hand, and she speaks an arcane word that seems to activate a film that fills up this like kind of vaporous portal of like kind of an azure, kind of a blue that radiates forth, and she's got her firewood and she steps into that.
I'll tell you what. I'll just roll a dice. If it's even, I go in. If it's odd, I stay away. They sound fair? We'll just do a coin flip.
Can we use a reroll?
You got rerolls if you need to.
Even we go in, odd we stay away. We're going in, baby.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're right there with you.
So you follow in on the heels of the cat and you step in. Meanwhile, back outside the house, what are you all doing? You've waited for about 20 minutes at this point, and Topsy has not returned.
Where is Topsy?
We should have made a plan, something like,
Do not follow. Do
some amount of minutes, or else we do something.
Would we start doing that now?
I don't think she'd do anything risky, right?
No, she's probably just observing.
He
Nothing
was
but
telling us to harmonize with the wood. Do you think
Right.
that you? No.
Yeah, I
Want
think
me to go check?
yeah. I still have her pipe.
See,
That's fine. We'll try to.
back
We'll
up.
try to find Topsy. Yes.
I was we could just have a smoke.
Oh,
Or wait.
well, as you're thinking about the possibility of grabbing a smoke, you guys are kind of standing, I'm guessing, like kind of on the ramp down to the ravine, like you're kind of on the edge. You're not exactly in the ravine, but you're in that kind of throwaway where you're, gazing down kind of at the house. You start to hear a sound kind of echo throughout the ravine of hooting owls, and it is daytime.
Ooh.
Oh,
I'm pulling
wizard's
my
true.
Hradle sword out and have it ready, just in case. Just in case.
Do we see any dolmen stone possibilities anywhere? Like any interesting stone formations besides the one with the painting on it?
You don't, but as you're looking around and you look backwards, through the fog and the mist, you see the silhouettes of figures at the top of the ravine, like coming down.
How many?
You see 8. That's how many you see.
Oh God.
So maybe we pull a little bit further back into the wherever we could possibly hide.
I think the only place is forward, right? We're stuck. We have to go forward, right? It's not like we could go back.
Yeah, they'd be blocking off the
Uh-huh.
way out of the ravine.
Well, let's just try to hide in maybe some wood and see. Hopefully. Yes.
Quietly.
So you're.
Can
Go ahead.
we, maybe like to the side of the house, is there any like wood we could kind of try to kind of slink into, or anywhere that we might hide?
So
I mean,
you-
I can slink as much as possible, but I'm wearing plate mail. It's not very slinky.
Do not move, brother. Hold your breath, brother.
you
Become one with the wall, brother.
you all are moving down into the ravine, and I guess you're doing your best not to be heard or whatever, but like right now, like if there are people like looking down into the ravine, like
Yes. Yeah.
you'd be spotted, right?
Mhm.
So you're feeling like these figures are sort of on your heel because you can feel their presence behind you. They're not chasing you, but like you could just feel the ominous presence of them kind of following you down into the ravine. And so you all circumvent the house. You try to go to like the side. You're looking for some tree cover. You'll see that copse of trees like at the back of the house where there's sort of a little meadow or whatever. And you'll see an axe like in this tree stump, maybe a few pieces of errant wood there.
We don't see a little kitty cat though.
No kitty cat. You'd see if you're going back there to like where the woods are, continuing back there to find some cover, you'll see that the back door of the home is left wide open.
Alex, when we get closer to the house, I'd like to cast a spell.
Okay.
And that spell it's a rune technically. It's fog cloud. So I'm double checking the rules here. I'm still using the old book, so this may be slightly out of date. But what this does is and what I'm trying to do is kind of like add to the misty, foggy scenario in the ravine, as we're getting into the ravine. And I'm gonna get you the actual spell description. I don't think I've cast this yet, so it's just kind of thing. Where is it?
That's all right. I can find it if I have a detailed question about it, but
Yeah, it's 20 feet, 20-foot radius.
the biggest thing here is, can you cast it? And so you can feel the magics of the Ring of Chell trying to prevent you from doing that. Roll me a d6 and don't roll a 1 or a 2.
All right, I'm gonna roll it in the thing because I don't have my dice with me. And I rolled a 3. Yes.
Okay, so you managed
Finally.
to
Yes.
push past the barrier of the triple pact and manifest this cloud over. Is it specifically over the group or over, like, kind of the
Centered on
backside?
me.
Yeah. Okay.
It's centered on me, and so as soon as we get kind of into the ravine, I'm trying to like create enough. It's only a 20-foot radius. I'm trying to create enough of a cover that we can slip into the woods. So I wait till we get close enough to the woods.
Perfect. So that happens, and you've got that cover. You can all feel the blanket of fog roll over you. And I'm picturing where you're situated right now. You've got kind of maybe 2 options. You could head into that woods there, where there's definitely places to hide, or you could go towards the manor house and slink in there.
Yeah, I'll point to our wisest member, the Friar. I'll follow his direction.
Do we get surrounded outside, or do we get surrounded inside? There might be something else inside. All right, we'll take our chances inside. Let us go inside. Maybe the fog will give us cover.
So you make your way into the open door. And I think generally speaking, as you're navigating, you're probably trying to go deeper into the house to find a good spot to hide. And you'll come across this portal standing, the same thing I described to Dawson, except for by the time you get there, there is no portal. You don't know that it activates or anything like that, but it's a strange thing in the middle of the house to see. It is definitely not a part of the original house. Freestanding, this archway of reed and sapling. I think right there we'll switch back to seeing what's going on with Topsy. And so Topsy, you've just stepped into the portal. This was some maybe 10 minutes ago that this occurred. And you're following right after, on the heels of this girl, and you're coming into a 20-foot square chamber of white marble. The central area has this rune-etched slab that has some, like, a mortar and pestle laid on it, and some different herbs and things like that, just freestanding on the top of the slab, and some that are in jars and things like that. The perimeter of the room has all these cupboards that have different embalmed organs in jars. There's knives and saws of all sizes that hang from, like, chains from the ceiling. Some of the shelves also just have a bunch of, like, leather-bound tomes, kind of neatly organized and cataloged. Besides the young girl, there is another figure kind of moving about the room. More of a maybe middle-aged woman who's wearing pretty plain clothes. She's got a long hooded cloak on. She's wearing kind of these green velvet gloves, and she seems to be kind of working on some kind of concoction. It looks like all the ingredients and everything that are splayed out are a part of some kind of work. There is a hearth at the back of the room where there's a big black cauldron, kind of recessed inside the wall, and the firewood that the girl is brought in seems to be getting delivered right to that spot. The girl probably is the first to speak, and she says, "Elsino, how much longer must I wait?" And the woman replies back, but the moment is nigh, my young friend. You've been chosen for this. I know it. I have seen it. All this time, my sisters, we've been looking for a human, when the answer was right here in front of us, that it would be a Droon child that would lead our order. And we will witness on the morrow the manifestation of a Gwigiron that this land has not seen in centuries. And you could just see Topsy, the girl, is just kind of like beaming. She's just smiling, like her eyes are lit with all sorts of fantasy. Like this is some dream that is finally coming to fruition. What? Anything that you are doing, as you look back at the portal, there's like a freestanding portal that just disappears. Like there's no architecture that signals that there's a portal into this room. It just vanishes behind you.
I have a quick question for my own context. Does Topsy know Paulith?
That was the question I was going to ask. I met her one time.
Oh, you did?
I don't think
Okay.
any context.
See,
I don't get any context.
That's what I said earlier, was that this is interesting because I thought maybe you hadn't met her, but if
I met her as the hireling.
okay,
Yeah,
then you
I don't think
then you
would've been-
recognize her. It is
Yeah.
Paulith.
But I don't think you had any information, any context, any background. I don't think you knew she was a Droon. I don't think you knew anything about it, right?
Mm-mm.
Because you're just like a hired
Really?
hand. Yeah.
No,
Okay.
Yeah.
I was just a hired hand at the point.
Interesting. Okay. This is fascinating. So keep going. So
I was taking care of my dog. That's probably
Oh, that's right. She had the dog.
Yeah,
There's a
we're
dog here.
the dog is here.
Yeah,
The dog is here.
the
Yep.
dog has some firewood strapped to his back.
it's like sleeping near the fire, all curled up on a rug. Oh, the dog, there's a cat in the room. Is like instantly gets up and starts growling, and both of the woman and Paulith turn back and they see the cat, and the older woman, she just says, "Well, now, I'm willing to bet that this is no common house cat that we have here." And then she starts to approach you.
Bloop, 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 bloop. I go behind the desk that's there and then appear as the Grimalkin. Ooh, very astute of you.
How many lives do you have left?
Let's see. I lived a fair while. Topsy, pleasure to meet you.
And Paulith is probably looking at you, and she says, "Why do you seem familiar?"
Oh, that's because I remember you used to sail here, remember? You took our dog.
Wait,
Well, you didn't take my dog. It was the Friar's dog, and he was very upset with that. I mean, I could totally understand your standpoint from the situation. We were gone for a very long time. But if we're being honest, it was only 30 minutes, but oh boy, I tell you, the Fae can get all sorts of wacko.
you're alive? Everyone's alive?
Oh yeah, we came back and you were just gone. Nice to meet you again, Paulith. I don't think we've fully met. Topsy, Fluff-a-kins, the Grimalkin, you know me, at your service.
Well,
They were all so worried sick about you.
where is everybody?
Oh, they're just outside.
Paulith turns to Elsino, and she says, "These folk, I traveled with them. We should invite them in. I think we should invite them in. They don't deserve my father. They're following me, and we need to help them." And Elsino just looks like she kind of pats her on the head, and she says, of course, and they may be useful to us. And she goes over to the wall and kind of casts a speaks some words, and the portal on the other side where the group is in the manor house lights up. And it's probably happening about the time, like, you can hear on the outside of the house, like, voices calling out, "Paulith! Paulith! Your father demands that you return home. Come out, Paulith!" And you can just hear numerous voices calling out. They're very clearly some kind of Droon search party looking for Aethelgrim's daughter. So the portal pops up, and then you see like a hand maybe extend out, kind of gesturing for you to come forth and enter.
Paulith. Ah.
June child, right?
Oh no. Like he's like understanding, like he already knows that she's really wanted this whole time to kind of find a witch, and she's like looking around, he's looking around the area. And even before, like he's just like, oh no. Like this might be something bad.
We saw that super evil book, by the way.
Yes, Thomas has it.
Yeah.
I love how we all refer to it as the super evil book.
I'm gonna jump through the portal. I'm
going right after you because I'm assuming very, very possibly that Topsy's already in there too.
Yeah. I guess I will look to my brother and go, whoa. At least we get to meet your neighbors, huh?
All right. So the group is entering into the portal, and it will close right after the last of you comes forth. Let's take like a 8-minute break. I want to get some more coffee and stuff, and then we'll pick back up with this interaction that happens here in the extra dimensional space. So thanks everyone for hanging out. If you're just joining us for the first time, come pop in our Discord server, come hang out with us there. If you're like, this is a crazy story, what the hell, how did they get here, you can check out our Patreon and take a look at that. We've got the backlog of all of these episodes, the edited audio versions of them up there, so you can check that out. So we'll be back in just a little bit. Hey, welcome back everybody. Thanks for joining us this morning, afternoon, whatever it is where you're at. We're going to pick back up with our Dolmenwood game here this morning. Our characters have just come back together after a little bit of a stressful divide. They have entered into an extra dimensional space from a portal in an old rotten manor house, and now find themselves in this environment of white marble. Has all the trappings of a witch's domain. Big cauldron in the back. Lots of strange ingredients for concoctions of her design. And you all are seeing a familiar face in Paulith, who stands next to this elder that she has taken up as something of a mentor, who is named Elsino. And Elsino looks at you all as you are entering. She moves up to like where this portal is right behind you, and she speaks an arcane word to close it, seemingly with some urgency. And she just kind of makes a comment, "We must not let the Droon find us."
I'm going to...
Are we all accounted for?
Go ahead and go over. I'm sorry?
Are we all accounted for?
Is Kezi here? Kezi?
Kezi's with you?
Then yes, we're all accounted for. Paulus?
You've got a lot of explaining to do. Where's the dog?
Oh, he's right here. Your dog is fine. Not that you all cared.
Benny!
What the hell happened to you? I waited for like a week, and it was rainy and cold and damp and...
Wow, that's actually very thoughtful of you. Well, have you ever been to the Fae?
No.
Oh, it's a wonderful place. You should visit sometime. Anyways, it works a little different on the other side. So what may be a week for you may have been like 30 seconds for us. And that's how it kind of worked. We were only in there for like, I don't know, half an hour to an hour. But pool, it was like months. It was crazy.
Well, no thanks to you all, but I found someone to help me with my training.
Mm.
And
Grateful that you found someone.
tomorrow, and she just like looks at Elsino and again beaming. She says, "Tomorrow it all starts.
The
What
training.
else, Star?
My initiation. I am going to witness the manifestation of one of the Gwig Irons, one of the wood gods of the Dolmenwood, the old gods, the original gods." She kind of says spitefully in the direction of the Friar.
Thorny
What?
type?
Wood gods. Hmm.
Oh, that's nice.
They have big bones.
I think this one does, right? And Elsino just smiles and she says, This one slumbers in the lake. This one has not been seen in a long time. But I know that you are the one. You are the one to bring Gelilo back.
I'm not from this region or this realm, Hail from the land of fairy. Hi, I'm Silver. Upon his brow. Nice to meet you. You can call me Silver for short.
Nice to meet you.
This god being that you're wanting to bring back, not a religious type either, so no judgment. But what do you think its intentions would be if it were to be brought out of the lake? Content to be worshipped?
Oh, we will draw upon its power once again. It is one of the missing Gwig Irons. We have not felt its presence in some time. Many of the Gwig Irons have gone unaccounted for over the ages, and we must bring them back. We must locate them.
And why must you?
Because they give us our gifts. They give us our magic.
Mm-hmm.
Their gifts should be felt once again.
Oh, certainly, of course. Never want to turn a gift down, right? That's quite rude, actually. But these Gwig Irons, you say, do they want anything in exchange for those gifts? Or are they just happy to provide them?
We do not delve into such philosophical debate. They are mysterious, and their mysteries are... Those are the things of the Droon to try to derive. We have faith. We have an understanding with the Gwig Irons that we stay in our lane and they watch over us. They bring balance to the Dolmenwood. It is theirs, after all. Many have tried to claim it. Your kind, the faith of humans. Even the Naglord tries to dominate it, but its origins are much, much more ancient. And all of the troubles that we feel are because we have disrespected the old gods for far too long.
I just turn my gaze to the Friar, like, you're the religious type in this group? Thoughts on Gwig Irons?
I've not heard of a Gwig Iron. You call them ancient power?
Very ancient. The original power.
Well, it seems like some mighty sacrifice would have to be made to bring something like that back.
No,
Are you planning on what this initiation? What does it entail?
tomorrow we will go out into Lake Longmere, and we will try to awaken Gelilo. There is no sacrifice. It is merely the proper vessel that must be brought before his threshold, and he will awaken, and he will join in spiritual union. I believe young Pauleth is the one that we have been looking for.
So you're
Spiritual union?
Oh, so that's what you meant by the human child part. You want it like the kid to act like a puppy type of deal. Is that what I'm getting at here? When I hear the word vessel, it's almost like they almost have no control of themselves. They're just an empty husk of nothingness to the individual who owns them.
Elsino looks uncomfortable that you overheard that piece. Like that's too much detail for you to know. You're not part of the sisterhood. And she says, yes.
And this empty vessel part. Do they get to be still themselves? You specifically said a human person, individual. It was very specific on that one. But is it because just they're worthless? Is it because they have no meaning? Is it just that they're
child.
just...
You know nothing of our ways.
I'm not that young. I mean, you want to check yourself before you wreck yourself, but...
You are my guest here. I will throw you out without a second of hesitation, and you will be the drone's problem.
I mean, you might be the drone's problem, it sounds like.
Well, we will wait. This will pass. And as it does, we will make our journey to the lake. You're welcome to stay and wait it out because you have the endorsement of Paulith here, who says you are trustworthy. But do not forget your place. You are guests here.
Well, I as a guest, and again as a stranger to your world, I have a question maybe about the Droon. You have some relationship with them, right? How do the Droon feel about the Gwig Iron?
Oh, they would seek to enslave the Gwig Irons, to bend them to their rule. They have no interest in a relationship.
And you
sensing some subtext.
Sorry.
No, I was just gonna say I'm feeling some subtext with this Droon situation. Go ahead, Friar.
He was just gonna ask about and how the humans what have they done in the past with these?
Oh, they're just ignorant. They have come and brought their religion here and tried to make the Dolmenwood understood within their texts that have no origin here. Friends of the Droon, at least once upon a time, they've made their pacts. They all seek to control and dominate. You cannot bend the power of the Gwig Irons. They slumber, but they will awaken.
Are they all sleeping?
Not all. Some still roam the Dolmenwood, but many of them are lost and unaccounted for. As is the case with Galileo.
Paul, if you know it's your dad on the other side of the door, right?
No, it's not my dad. It's others. He's clearly sent word throughout the wood to come find me. Maybe someone spotted me. Maybe I've been seen by one of those owls. I have to leave and get wood and such. Doesn't matter. Tomorrow I will be starting my ascension. I will move through the steps of the 13 lunar cycles, and I will become one of their order.
So you'll get to be a witch.
Yes.
Have you told your dad before you wanted to be a witch?
I would not tell him that.
Why not?
Kidding? Was the whole problem, Topsy. That's why we met her in the first place.
Well, how am I supposed to know this when I met her for 20 minutes?
Point taken. But yeah. No, her
Paula.
parents wouldn't be happy.
Sorry, I just want to pause for a second because Paula, you're hearing the conversation we're having here with your lovely, beautiful friend, and it doesn't sound like you're going to become a member of their order or a witch, right? You're going to become a vessel of some kind for this Gwig Iron?
You are imposing your own meaning on all of this. I am merely going to witness the manifestation of the Gwig Iron for the first time. That is the first step into the initiation.
Okay. So what's this vessel concept, I guess? Maybe that's where I'm failing.
Yeah, I don't know where that's coming from. I think that's something that you guys had speculated. There was some talk of sacrifices. I didn't say anything about that. So
got it.
you guys are imposing that.
It's Topsy.
So to speak very clearly, and I'm going to probably pull us back because I don't want to in person talk this out for 2 hours. Basically,
Sure.
The ritual is that they're going out to the lake where this thing slumbers, supposedly. Like it's supposedly some kind of god is what you're deriving from all of this.
Right.
And she is going to witness it awakening. And there is some kind of magic that they are going to do. The idea is that Polith, it sounds like what you're hearing is that she is some kind of prophet. She's an actor in some kind of prophecy that the witches have had all this time. And her mere presence is the activating event for awakening this thing.
Got it. Okay.
So there's no sacrifice or ritual that's going to happen. It is merely bringing her to the lake.
Just trying to suss out the situation. That's good. That's good to know.
Make it
After
real,
2 or 3
real,
hours of like dancing
real
around
clear,
the
so that
topic.
there's no question of what's being communicated. So
Good. Well, and I would imagine like, we don't need to play it out, but it's probably us trying to like not overtly say it and then like thinking what's happening. Like it's a situation. It makes sense. We finally come to an alignment on it. And so I guess I'll just kind of maybe like collect the party and say, we need to go to the lake. We have no real alliance with the Droon. If anything, they don't seem to like me and Topsy too much. Maybe the Squig Iron isn't such a bad thing. Maybe we see what happens.
Well,
I don't know.
I definitely want to know what's going to happen. I also want to know what's happened to Polith in between. I mean, not chapter and verse, but at least catch up with her a little bit. It seems like she's been living her dream. This is what she wanted to do.
I mean, you got some time while you're here. There's, I would imagine, no appetite to go out and leave until the coast is clear, and so you definitely have time to like have these conversations. And she would share with you that, yeah, she waited for you guys for about a week, and you never emerged from the fairy mound. That was pretty close by to where her dad was, and so there wasn't so much time that she could camp out there before he would have found her. So she left. She returned back to Lankshorn just to kind of steal some supplies and some food, and then she headed up into the woods. She wandered quite a bit. Luckily, being a single individual and with the help of the dog, she was able to avoid many dangers, but eventually found her way here and found her way into this ravine just as you did, and made contact with Elsino. So she shares all of that with you. Other things or other topics, other conversations that you would be having, probably chief among them is what are you all going to do? Because there has not been like a overt like ask for you to go with them tomorrow. It seems like basically your relationship here is just one of taking some cover for now.
I would like to ask if we could go with. I mean, I like Paul. As maternal as I'm going to be towards anything, as towards Paul, and I kind of really, or maybe sisterly. I can't tell really, and hard. But I'd really like to go if it's possible for me to go and witness as well. Are there any rituals I'd have to do in order to be able to go? I mean, I'd like to observe.
I feel like Geoffrey too is like, yeah, there's nobody saying there's any kind of ritual or any kind of possession or anything going on, but Geoffrey just is distrustful of the situation, and so he also likes Polith. She kind of traveled with us. He's taken a shining to her, and sort of feels like, hey, we could travel to the lake under the ruse of, going to see her graduate into her witchcraft, because that was her dream and we're her friends. And we just want to see her realize her dream. And then we can just make sure that they're not going to sprout tentacles out of her head. And then we can be about our way and head to Hoarblight Keep,
That's very nice.
Yeah, I think the Friar is just interested to see what horrors are being sent out into the world, and definitely I don't know we're going to necessarily be able to stop it, but at least be informed about what is happening and what is going to be done in the Dolmenwood.
And even this, not to and maybe this is some quiet conversation at some point, maybe not in front of the witch, but at some point it's like, she talked about the Naglord, and having an extra power, an extra player in the world might net be good for us. Someone to leverage, someone to ally with.
Could I maybe ask? I might. I mean, we're at this point. We're kind of sitting around the fire. Hopefully, the dogs still recognize me.
Sure.
I'd kind of be sitting there, petting it on the floor. What are your thoughts of this Naglord being spoken of? I would ask about.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I mean, basically, what she will tell you is that from the witch's perspective, the Naglord is an it's an outsider, it's an invader in the Dolmenwood, and seems to be responsible, they believe, maybe for the disappearance of some of the wood gods. That the Naglord is a corrupting influence, and they worry about his power. And sort of kind of along the lines of what Silver just said, they are wanting as many of the wood gods to be back to kind of counteract that, to defend, that they could access their powers to defend their home against this outsider.
So in a strange way, they are already sort of allies.
Mm-hmm.
Who'd have thunk it?
Well, at least we're not enemies.
Could I ask maybe the witch's origin? Because they speak of them as separate from like human or drone. Could I maybe ask, like, after 3-4 hours, however long, I mean, eventually the small talk will start, like after the accusations, and I might like ask, like, what is your origin, your coven's or whatever origin?
She would say that they are the children of the wood gods. They are the children of the wood. That this is, they predate all of the other factors in the Dolmenwood. But over time, their ways are not understood, and they have often been persecuted, and that is why they have to go into hiding. That, whether it's the Church of the One True God, whether it's the Droon, whether it's the Fey elements coming forth, like, one way or another, they are always kind of find themselves at odds with these forces that come into the wood, and so they wait in secret and maintain their craft in the shadows.
Oh, I'm curious. And at this point, I'm going to set my pack down. I think Apu might want to go ahead and say hi to the dog too. They did travel for quite a bit together, and I can feel him wiggling around in the pack, so I will let him out. But I'm also wondering, if you're born of the forest and you're child's children of the old magic, is Paula the child of the old magic too?
I believe she is. I believe she will be once she finishes the initiation.
A lot for a 16-year-old. Sorry, kid, but it's a lot.
To be fair, she is rather old to be joining.
Join early? I mean, well, I guess you
most of us go through the initiation much earlier in our lives.
Mm-hmm.
But it is our fault. We were not looking for a Droon or a Braithmaid. We were looking for a human.
A Braithmaid?
Which would be a word for a female Droon. All right.
Paul has definitely been looking for you or maybe not you, but the witches, as long as we've known her. And she's been very inventive about how she's gone about that. So, it's been our strong desire and seems to still be.
Well,
we should have it.
Better late than never. This is the right timing. We cannot always choose. But the moment is now. Tomorrow we will make our way to Lake Longmere. If you wish to join us, you may. but do not interfere with our business. This is very unusual to have you here. I'm uncomfortable with this, but given the circumstances, I guess it cannot be helped. So, it sounds like the group is wishing to go along with them in the morning. You can, we're not going to really do like a camping procedure. You're pretty safe in the cloister of this extra dimensional space, but if you all want to check off that you're using a ration or whatever for the evening, everything else will be equal. Anybody still down hit points?
I am, and I'm pretty sure Thomas was.
Okay, so another
Mhm.
hit point of healing this evening, or if I guess Friar, probably you have some cure spells if you wanted to discharge them before going to sleep.
If I'm able to in this extra dimensional space, then I would definitely try to use some healing on. We'll say since Silver is here, we'll go ahead and do that first.
So I only have one. I'm looking a lot better after this rest. I
That's
remember
fine.
Thomas took a ton of damage. Just want to put it out there.
He did.
But I'll definitely take one if you have it.
All right, I'll do one and then I'll do one on Thomas and then we'll see. I think Thomas, I won't have to worry so much, but we'll have to.
Yeah.
I think you need to roll first before I even do anything.
That's right. I need to roll, and I keep forgetting
you
this. I'll roll a d6. I rolled a 1. I can't remember if that's bad or good.
I
You
think
remember
it's
what the
bad.
rolling is? I think it's bad too.
Yep.
It's a 2 out of 6.
Yeah, so
2
1
for
or
6,
2.
I fail. Yeah. Dang it.
Sorry.
You're
well.
wasting your spells.
No. Because we weren't going to use them anyway today, so that's fine. Then I'll roll for Thomas. He gets a bit of I'll put it in our notes how much he gets.
Sounds good.
I think your one true god is punishing me for being open to the Gwiggle.
I wouldn't say that. Maybe
It's my own
just
lack of faith.
the faith. Yes.
All right. Are we all good on these types of things? I'm probably going to try to really push us forward so we can actually have something happen here at the end. So you all wake up in the morning. The witch Elsino leaves the extra dimensional space for a little bit in the morning, just do some scouting and such to see if there's any traces of the Druun left. She returns back and reports that she believes that the coast is clear. And she also reports that it is fortuitous weather has cleared up. And she believes that the path forward will be uninhibited. And so she collects up her things. Paula collects up some things for the travel as well. And you head out. And so on this, we've switched months now. We're now in the month of Obthryme. It's still autumn, but later in the season. And you start to make your way north. She kind of takes you. You don't pass back through any familiar territory, so you don't go back through those strange mushroom growth things. She takes you in a different direction. So for the next day, you're passing through kind of craggy forest. It's a little bit more rocky here than in other parts that you had traveled through. But eventually, maybe in the late afternoon or so, the forest gives way to the terminus of a creek or a small river that deposits its waters over a rocky cliff, and there is a waterfall that deposits right down into this large lake that you can see. At the base of the waterfall, you can see that there seems to be some kind of stepping stone pattern kind of thing that looks like somebody has very carefully put boulders out there to kind of create like a hodgepodge path, kind of around the falls. And Elsino suggests that this is the path the location where the initiation will occur is probably another day's journey along the shore of the lake. But she suggests passing by this waterfall maybe spending another couple hours traveling and making camp.
Sounds good.
Yep, sounds good. I'm going to do a small talk about herbs and whatnot and try to get as much information as I can.
Yeah, try to yap them up about the garden.
Yeah.
She'll tell you that, believe it or not, that the mushroom gardens that you have discovered were not of her making. She tells you that the home is not her home. Some old homestead to a noble, bearing the name of Malevol. Or at least that's what she has ascertained from some of the few pieces of evidence and records that she has found in the ruined place. She believes it was the holding of a necromancer some time ago, and that those gardens were parts that she was growing for like flesh golems and zombies that she was putting together. She has no idea what has happened to said individual, but she ascertained that there was enough things about the garden, the sigil on the wall, that this would be a good hideout for her, that maybe people wouldn't bother her so much. And she probably makes some kind of comment about how undeterred you all were moving forward, but nonetheless. As you're moving forward, unless there's anything else that anybody wants to do, and you're crossing through the water over these stepping stones, you'll probably take notice that there's definitely a cave behind those falls. And as the water is cascading down, the cavern moves back, and you can even see the outline of what looks like some kind of a monument or a statue back there inside the cave. It's a little bit obscured because of all the water and mist that's pouring up, but from where you're standing, you know, the stepping stones are probably some, we'll say like 30 feet from where the water is depositing into the lake, and then like the cavern descends back like another at least 60 feet behind there.
Can we get a good look at the monument to see exactly what it is, or is it just kind of some kind of shape?
You would have to like get behind the waters to like see it more clearly. But it looks like a large 20 feet tall statue.
Are we headed that way, or do we just happen to notice it?
So, here, let me just draw.
In really old school essentials here.
Yes. Well,
It's
I
like
guess the question
this
is
kind of
can we?
thing where there is stepping stones. You're trying to cross through to the other side because you're trying to follow the lake. But there's a waterfall that's depositing like right here. There's the mouth of where that river or creek is depositing, and so this is where the you're not naturally, you're just noticing it, and so you'd have to like go back there to see it more clearly.
Yeah, and I guess I was getting at like, was the destination for the ritual in that cavern? Like, were we like going to it? But it sounds like we're going past
No,
it, right?
she's telling you that like probably your destination is another day's journey, like north.
Got it.
You're gonna be following like the lake shore, basically.
Okay.
Could we ask if she knows what's in the cave? Could we ask if she knew anything about the cave as we were kind of passing through?
She does not. That isn't something that she's explored.
Okay.
Have Thomas mark it. I know Thomas kind of keeps a map for us. I think maybe just like, have him mark that there's this crossing and waterfall, and that we can see that there's something back there. Maybe it's something to double back to before heading to Hoarblight. Could
I mean, if
be
this is
something.
this is a testament to maybe the old god in the lake, perhaps it could be worth a look. I mean, something as ancient as hiding behind a waterfall, a statue, not something you see every day, and for someone like a witch to not know about it, that'd be pretty interesting to look.
She's very dismissive of you. She moves forward past the stepping stones to the other side of the lake. And Paula like shrugs, and she follows behind her mentor.
Yeah, we probably want to follow them to witness this. At least that's Geoffrey's thought. He wants to, like I said, he primarily wants to make sure that no tentacles pop out of Paula's head during the ceremony.
Elsino would probably say, Our journey here today lies further ahead. I will not risk this momentous occasion with poking my head in where I do not know what threats are there. You may do so, but you do so at your own peril. She keeps going.
This is why she's an NPC and not a player.
Yep. She would never. Yeah, she doesn't take the hooks. So, but you are free to do so.
Topsy, we can go back. We can come back. We'll know more, at least a little bit more.
I think it makes the most sense to follow our guide so we don't get entrapped and lost.
Yes,
And
we
then
will
to come
have
back
time.
and then
Yes,
go
we
to
will.
one night.
We will have time to zigzag all over the place. Yes.
I'll update our itinerary.
We have so much. We're never gonna get there.
We now have a drawing. Potential stop on the way back. Hopefully enough dissuasion of the cat.
Elsino would put it out here, like, it's later afternoon. She would be willing to kind of move ahead a little bit to see like a good place to like set up camp or whatever if you truly wanted to check this thing out.
Okay, that sounds great, actually.
But as you know,
Geoffrey,
from a game standpoint, it's the cost benefit analysis of like, do we want to risk resources to check this out or not? So
You guys know Geoffrey's always getting squirreled out, and this is the current squirrel. And Geoffrey's eyeing it. Like, well, if she's willing to camp right up ahead and let us check it out, then I kind of want to do that.
Yeah, that was my only concern is that we'd lose her and she'd run off with Paula.
yeah, it's not so much she's going to leave you behind, but more like she doesn't want anything to happen to Paulith or herself. So they're going to put a safe distance between you and whatever your exploration you're going to do here.
This way, if we explode something,
Yeah.
they're out of shrapnel's way.
Yeah, and it will take care of a potential problem for her too, so why not?
They're gonna have camp, and then all of a sudden they're gonna see this like statue come crawling out of the camp, like with
Just
the
carry
waterfall. It's got Geoffrey in one hand, it's got Friar in the other.
Oh, yeah.
Brother,
I guess we're not-
brother,
just-
dad,
The statue of brotherly love.
So,
We
yeah,
have
let's go with it.
vivid imagination. So far, we've never seen a brother.
And I'm
statue
drawing
of
that
brotherly.
picture right now.
Let's take a look.
All right. So you're all collectively going, trying to get back there.
Just quickly. Yes.
I'm at least willing to let Apu go ahead and take a quick look if he's willing to go.
Oh, yeah. Yes. Send the monkey.
Yes, but it's not a monkey. But,
Oh.
okay, yes. I can't remember. I don't. He's a water creature. He could be a sea monkey.
So it is a little bit treacherous to get back there. There's a little bit of a ledge that you can kind of sidle along to get to the cavern from the shore. And you're all going in?
I want to at least have Apu take a look first. Take a quick look.
So if
Okay,
anyone's ever seen the last
the
the
monkey-
monkey, I'm getting that image, like in the waterfall,
You send the monkey in, and he goes in, but he doesn't come out.
Call Apple back. Go ahead.
Apu, I have more rations.
All of a sudden you hear a splash, and then you can see that he's like kind of swimming about in the kind of the river or whatever. He's swimming around at the base of the waterfall. Seems like he's back, enjoying life again. He's, he loves being in the water. That's where you found him.
A sea monkey, but yes. Okay, he doesn't look too concerned, so I'm okay with going in. Of course, he wasn't concerned with all sorts of things where he lived, so I'm not sure that's a good sign.
Anybody who wishes to sidle along the edge there and go inside, roll me a d6 and tell me if you roll a 1.
I'm going 4.
Dice are being rolled. I don't hear anybody saying, "Oh no," so I'm guessing it's good. As you all kind of one by one sidle along there and get into the cavernous opening, and kind of a lot of algae coated boulders in here. A little bit of that kickback of the misty spray. A little bit of a rainbow like film covering the entranceway as the daylight is filtering in, but you take a look and you see a heavily calcified statue of a goat woman holding a horned crown. And you have probably seen images or portraits of this figure back in goat country, because there is definitely almost like those Renaissance paintings. Like there's like a golden like halo around this figure, sort of, that you've seen in the pictures, but not, this doesn't have a halo of the statue, but it's this figure of Hraggle, this deity like deified figure in goat folk culture.
Hey, Geoffrey, it's your great grandmother-in-law.
Yeah. And you said they're holding a crown. Like, is it an actual crown or is it of stone?
It is of stone.
Okay.
So it is a depiction of the crown.
Only my wife were here to see this. She would be marveled. I wish I could paint a picture.
Oh yeah, everybody. Geoffrey got married.
What? Geoffrey, you should have said something.
Oh, I forgot that I didn't. I just did.
You should. Yeah, you sure just did. I agree.
Well, we're away from the court, so no one's here to make a fuss about it.
The court?
Yeah, and I'm gonna pull out a little. I have a little a tiny little a painting of
Miniature?
yeah of lady. I forget her. Forget my wife's name.
I think it's
You can only
barreled.
better for like 5 minutes, so
It's been a couple weeks.
Sorry.
I mean, you just barely met her,
It was Lady Barreled Remius.
There you go.
Yeah.
Lady Barreled Ramius, my true love. I remember my wish. Remember my wish. It's been granted.
Oh, well, that's true. You did have the opportunity to find your true love. And she's your true love?
Yeah, look at her beautiful goatee.
Goat face.
Alex, I'm gonna take a look around the base of the statue and just see if there's anything interesting, any treasures,
I
Yeah.
could take out my sword.
Tell me more about your search. You're just looking around at the base of the statue?
Yeah, so I'm looking at the base of the statue, and I'm just kind of like, I'm looking very generically initially, just is there anything literally around it, like candles or pots or like any kind of treasures, anything like that. And if it's totally clear, then I would be maybe like feeling the edge of the statue and just seeing if there's any kind of like, alcoves or switches. Just seems suspicious to me that there'd be this random statue. So,
Roll me a d6.
sure. I do have secret door finding. I roll 2.
Okay. Don't find any secret doors or anything like that, but maybe at some point you kind of climb up as you're doing your search and you elevate yourself up the statue a little bit, maybe positioning your feet on like the base, and you can see like in the hands, like it's holding out this crown, and the crown basically has concealed in it. It's not like super hidden, but you wouldn't be able to see it from the ground. There's a pouch inside the crown.
I'll share that out, especially to Topsy.
Crown pouch?
Crown pouch.
Take it.
Well, not quite the dexterous type. Wearing very wet plate mail.
Fine.
Whose
I
turn
go
is
behind-
it?
I go behind the statue. I become a cat and just bloop bloop bloop.
All right, you become a cat and climb up and maybe grab it with your mouth and drop it down, or bring it with you.
I will bring it in my mouth and prance my way back towards Silver and just look at him just right in the face with the pouch in my mouth.
You can see the leather pouch in the cat's mouth has a symbol threaded in it with like kind of golden thread. It looks like a thorned eye. And probably Geoffrey has some kind of sigil somewhere on his something that he was gifted that matches up with that, because this is the mark of House Remius. Seems like there is some jingling of coin inside the pouch as you make your way down. Some coin.
So
All
an
right, I'll take the
offering.
pouch. I'm gonna open it up and just look in it, just out of curiosity.
108 gold pieces inside.
Should we put it back?
I will go back behind the statue and turn back into Topsy. Well, the last time I did something like this, I did rob from the entirety of Lord Ramius's coffers to that weird thing underneath the ground, that dream dude. Apparently I robbed him there. What's wrong with robbing him again?
All right, I'll
It
toss
is
that
all in the
to-
family at this point, right?
Yeah, it's a gift from the ancestors now.
It's your inheritance from your great grandmother-in-law.
All right, I'll toss it to Geoffrey. It's yours by right.
Yeah, brother, that's how this works.
Well, all right, fine. I guess I'll hang on to it for now.
All right, I'll add that coin to your person here.
So I'm curious, is there any sort of symbology that matches the name on my sword or any of the writing on my sword, which I had to have translated? Is there any? I'm just basically curious if there's any indication that this statue might even have held the sword at one time or another.
It doesn't look like the sword. What you know of the sword already is that it was a weapon that was used by, like the sword is notable in that it was used by goat folk during that time, not necessarily that it was Hragel's sword or anything like that. So, there's probably some indication that they're from like there's an association, but it's not like a direct kind of thing.
Okay, thanks.
Somebody in Fragel's army.
Yeah. Yep. During the Droon War. All right. Anything else that you want to do in this area? You found a little bit of gold, so that's good. Good.
Doesn't seem like there'd be much else, right? It's just like kind of an alcove. There's
Yeah.
kind of search for secret doors, search the area. It seems like that's kind of
Yep.
that's it.
You probably spend 30 minutes or so looking for like secret doors and such in this area, but it doesn't seem like there's any outlet. This is just like a little enclave where this kind of shrine, this is a marker. If you really dig into this at some point later, when you have, maybe Thomas would be able to tell you that these are the falls where Hregel died. And so it makes sense that this like statue is here as kind of like a memorial or a marker of that event.
Okay. Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say I'll have to tell my wife about this. This is a place of great history for her people.
And
Every time you say you're gonna tell your wife, I think your real wife. And I'm like, Ryan's gonna tell his wife about how cool the game is.
Nope. Until my goat wife.
so I'm just because of time and such, like there's no like better outlet for this. We'll say like over camp tonight, Thomas maybe will be able to piece together, and maybe like in conversations, like the witch would probably know a lot of this history too, so she'll be able to share this with you. But the story goes that Hregel stole the crown from the Droon. It was a Droon artifact, and her placing the crown on her head allowed her to break free from their hold, and then she was able to lead other Bregel from their control, and she started the resistance against the Droon. And so she was sort of a source of inspiration for Bregel throughout Dolmenwood to take up arms and fight against the Droon. And like this is where like the final conflict happened here at these falls. And the Bregel were on the losing side of the conflict. The Droon were just much too powerful. They had way too advanced magic for the goat folk to put up like a strong resistance. But when she knew that the battle was lost, she threw herself from the cliffs up above. And when she fell, the crown shattered. And that crown held the power of control over the goat folk. And so she didn't know that, but in this sacrifice, hurling herself from the cliffs and with the artifact, this is their story of how she broke their chains. So the little pouch of coin is probably some kind of somebody came here at some point and gave that up as an offering or whatever. But
and now we took it like a bunch of scumbags. But hey.
Yeah, who knows? Curse will follow you, and that's all right. Add it to the long list of curses that follow you everywhere you go.
We've done work.
So, all right. So you'll emerge from the falls, and just up the way, within a mile or so, you'll go and you'll find where they have started setting up camp and everything like that. We'll just maybe keep the same kind of watch order here for this evening. And is there anything that you all want to do during camp? Any more tobacco use, or I guess Friar, we have to do a foraging check for you.
Yes, please.
Can our hunters do hunting? How does that mechanic work with the hunting?
You have to take an entire day.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's got to be a focused activity.
Gotcha.
I didn't find anything.
Okay.
Oh, but maybe the witch can tell you what you did find the other day.
Yes. I would ask if she recognizes my moss, my aura moss.
Spirithame.
Oh, that's
maybe
great.
You have this already? Yeah, cures 1d2 hit points. So
Great. Oh, they do look similar.
there's better lighting here,
It's
I
hard
guess.
to find them.
All right. I think we'll forego all the camping stuff because you got so many people that could like gather firewood and all that you're gonna have no problem getting a rest here. So in the morning, it is a cloudy, misty day with a rolling fog over Lake Longmere. And you're starting to understand from Elsino, like she says this is fortuitous. Like she's going to say that anything is fortuitous and that this is a sign that like today is the day. So like every day is a good day for her. Like she will contort and contrive any kind of meaning out of these natural events. But she'll tell you it's just up ahead. It's just up ahead. I know exactly where we are going, and then we will move out onto Lake Longmere, and we will find and bring union between young Paulith here and Galileo. You get together, you have some breakfast, a hasty breakfast in the morning.
I'd like to pull Paul aside real quick.
Sure.
Just really quickly.
Sure
And say, look, I know that you trust her. I trust you. But if you feel anything going sideways, you just, I don't know, yell, scream, kick, anything. Twitch an eyebrow.
Peanut butter.
There you go. Peanut butter.
She says, I will not flinch. I will go through with this. This is what I must do. This is what I must do. This is my only chance to join the sisterhood.
Hey, well, I'm trusting that this will work out well, but sometimes things are not what they seem. And sometimes what you see as your only chance is your last. And you might have missed the one that came after.
You can tell.
Don't forget, you've got allies.
You can tell from her demeanor and the talk that you have. She's more distant towards you. I think she's harboring. You've told her the story of what happened, but she harbors ill feelings on some level towards the group for not finding her, or not. She feels abandoned by the group.
I can totally get that.
She still cares about you all because you kind of were inspired her to leave home, but it's not as warm as it was prior to entering the fairy mound. So you're speaking of concern to her, and she's like listening, but you can tell like she's a teenager again, and she doesn't care what now you're mom. Now you're the parental figure that's telling her how to live her life, and so you're getting that feeling.
It would be great.
You start to move out. You get packed up. The mist off of Lake Longmere is chills you, like you just feel damp all day, and the waters are very choppy, and you could just hear like the crashing of the waves on the rocks below. You kind of follow sort of a elevated cliffside that follows the lake as you're moving about. So you're kind of looking down at the lake as you're traveling the next couple of hours. But
Very
eventually,
fortuitous.
yes, very, very, very fortuitous. These are the conditions that I foresaw in my dream or whatever. But eventually you get to where there is like a natural like stair, it seems, that has been carved out of the stonework that leads down to the lake. And at this location, there is like this old rickety rowboat that is upturned and on the shore. And Elsino, waves Polith. She takes her by the hand and says, "Just this way, we're almost there. This is the spot where we will awaken Galileo, and you will witness his manifestation, and we can begin our work together." So they maneuver their way down. This rowboat that you see down there is, really meant for one individual. I could probably get 2 people in there. 3 would be pretty crowded. So
She's not coming back, is she?
Hey guys, group huddle for a second.
Yes.
Y'all are really gonna let this fucking person just raise an old god just because? Am I the only one not seeing this as an issue?
I mean, again, I just think, we have the Nag Lord, we have various other bad things about the Cold Prince. I just think having an extra being might help us.
Yeah, because the title of old god really helps people when they think of, I have problems, let's summon an old god to fix them all. Right, because I'm the weird one. I'm just the goofy fake cat that goes around and does things. Wood person.
Don't insult yourself so much. Like,
I can insult myself if I want to, young man. Watch it.
Listen. I have to say, like maybe my morals are slipping in my old age, and I have less to take with them summoning an old god. But I'm pretty worried about Polith. This seems really not right. They're gonna just take her out on the lake in a boat, and something bad's gonna happen. I'm kind of with Topsy in that I sort of feel like we should. Like I don't like this. I don't like this one bit.
Tackle Polith and sit on her. I mean, and then have Elsino. Well, Elsino can't be as bad as an old god.
I mean, no matter what,
Polith might never forgive us, but I'd live with that.
Forgive us, yeah. She'll never forgive us.
I could live with that.
But she'll be. I have a feeling she's gonna be dead.
I mean,
Tentacles pop out of her head, people.
I mean, everything that this witch lady has said, it seems like this is not very customary for our thing. Well, we'll make an exception just for you. Just you, individual person, you. No one's getting red flags. Am I the only one in the circumstance?
We've all been thinking it. All of us. I mean, we had this whole
No
big
one's been
roundabout.
saying
This
it.
is going to be a sacrifice, but yeah, I'm
We're
ready
just
to
trying to be
tackle her and get her out the
supportive.
boat.
Of Polith, we're trying to be supportive, but we're having trouble. You know, it's tough to be supportive and stern at the same time. You know.
So while you're having your yet another debate about what you want to do here, they're down by the boat, upturning the boat, and Elsino is like just like in conversation with Polith, like maybe telling her like this is what to expect or whatever. Like they're having some kind of conversation down there.
Oh, wait a minute. What is she saying? What are they going to expect? I want to know. I want to listen.
Could I be looking to see if I see anyone else like besides them? Like, do I see anyone else kind of gathering around?
No, it's very
like to-
isolated.
I mean, honestly, there's also the chance that whatever this ritual is doesn't work. I
Yeah,
mean, we
and
have
that
no
this
reason.
crazy lady is taking Polith out on the choppy water for no reason, and they're both going to
Oh.
die.
Well, we could go with one of us could.
I mean, I
Probably
didn't
eventually.
explicitly say it, but she did kind of slightly threaten me the first time she saw me. I'm just putting that out there.
What'd she say?
So what live are you on right now?
Oh,
know,
that's right.
That's
I
right.
don't know about that, but
Well, I'm just saying it's the first thing I had with her. Like, not even, oh, hello, little one. How you doing? It's just like, you're on the chopping block now, but in the cat live form. You know?
What
you want a jumper?
life are you on?
I don't know. When you get to be my age, you tend to forget such things.
so are we suggesting that we jump the witch?
I
Is that what we're doing now?
don't know if we're jumping the witch. I just think that maybe we could figure out some kind of way to get people. I don't like that they're going to be distant from us. Like, I was kind of hoping we could be like there, and if something goes sideways, she could say peanut butter, and then we could jump in, and we could, spread the peanut butter over the bread. But
I have an idea.
okay.
Who's good at animal calls?
Animal
You?
calls? Me?
I make more yowls, but that's a different thing. What if one of us starts pretending to be, like, I don't know, what do you call them? A gaggle of owls. The June are here. They're watching. Maybe they won't risk it with all the June here. They're all exposed in the open.
I think the luxury of time to debate what you collectively want to do is over, and so, Paul, you guys sequestered yourselves to have a private discussion while they're down on the shore. Polith just looks up and she kind of like waves like a knowing goodbye to you all, and they start to both of them together start to move like the boat over to the lake.
Oh man. And then it's
Well,
still
we can at least go down there. Let's go down there.
yeah. I want to at least have a sight to what's going on.
It's
can-
Well, if no one's gonna offer, I'll jump in the boat with them. I can fit in. I'm lithe. I'm gonna try.
Elsino
I figured
would
live is so-
object to that. She would
Let's
say,
do that.
"You are not to come. You are not a part of this. Your destination is elsewhere. You've brought us safely here, and I thank you for that. But this is where we depart."
But I
Oh.
worry that you may need support if the Droon show up.
The
We could have a little
drone.
bit of muscle, right?
No,
Oh.
there is a separation here. You will stay here. You go on your merry way. This is an intimate ceremony, and
Which, if you're the only person who comes back alive,
And Paulith will return to
you
us.
won't be alive long.
I came here to drop you off.
Polith looks at you and she says, where I'm going, this is my journey from here on out. This is my initiation into the sisterhood. Thank you for everything that you've done, but you have other things to do in the wood. I'm not coming with you. I have found my mentor. I am going to go through the steps of the lunar cycles and be brought in as a full sister.
Geoffrey's obviously like bawling, right? Like just like crying, like full ugly grown man crying.
Yep.
You know,
She'll go over to you.
like give her
She'll
a
give
big
you a hug. Yep.
Yeah. And he's just gonna say, how he's proud of her. He knows that they have different beliefs, but he's proud of her that she's realizing her dreams, and he
Yep.
hopes that he'll get to see her again.
It's like sending your niece off to college or something. That's the kind of the feel. She gives you kind of that kind of a hug, and she says, well, congratulations on your marriage. That's exciting."
Oh, thank you.
And she
And
says,
congratulations on your witchcraft. That's exciting.
"It is exciting. I can't wait to get started."
Well, be safe.
What
And
didn't
don't let anybody
Yeah.
take advantage of you. And if they do, you know how to get in touch with us. Magically.
She
I'm gonna
says,
hand Paul my dagger.
"Okay."
Just, to-
She takes it.
just keep that on you for any reason that you might need.
"I will treasure it always. And I'll keep it close." She takes it, and she takes the time to kind of, I imagine it has like a scabbard and everything. Like she takes the
Oh,
time
yeah.
to put it on her belt, and she seems to wear it proudly.
It's my fancy elf dagger. So
Now it's her fancy elf dagger.
Well, I hope you'll forgive my worry. I mean it. If any harm comes to you, I will not be happy, and I can't swear that I wouldn't do something to avenge you. But you seem confident, and I'll have to trust your judgment.
Thank you. You inspired me to leave home. I couldn't have taken those first steps if it wasn't for you all. So I am glad.
Well, I wouldn't sell yourself short. We're already taking them. But
She maybe just kind of gives more of a more formal kind of head nod towards the friar, and she says, "Look after your brother."
Yes. Yes, you look after yourself. Good luck.
Gives Topsy a little tousle of the hair of the head, and puts some space between you all, and grabs the other side of that rowboat and they start to like wade out into the waters to get it far. And they're having to work kind of hard because choppy waters is kind of that moment before the big storm feel, and it's foggy and misty out there. And so as they get into the boat and they start rowing, it only takes them 30 feet from the shoreline to get out there until you can barely see their silhouette. It's that thick.
Don't know if we did the right thing, but we did let our little birdie fly.
And so in the moments after they depart, what do you all do?
Geoffrey's too busy crying to do anything.
It's okay,
at
brother.
least eight.
Big, ugly, crying, snot-nosed. It's bad.
No.
You've traveled probably the better part of the morning, so taking a little bit of a respite or a break here. You take breaks like throughout the day as you travel, so maybe you're doing one of yours here.
So, Geoffrey, why are you crying so hard? I mean, you mostly weren't really with us when she was with us. And what is it about the situation that's causing you such grief?
It's just it's beautiful, and it's also scary. It's like she's realizing her dreams, which is beautiful, but like I feel like she's gonna come back with tentacles in her head and eat us. So it both scares me, and it's beautiful, and I'm happy for her, and I'm scared for the universe. It's a lot of things. It's a lot of
You're
emotion.
a romantic?
You know I am.
Well,
Oh.
kind of. Except for the whole tentacle thing.
Oh, I'm not a romantic. I have no idea what's going to happen to her. But it's her choice. Nobody forced her. She goes off with a crazy woman and drowns. There's nothing we can do about it. I am not a romantic.
I'm thinking the Druin saw us enter this place. We are not there. I hope that they have not come under the assumption that we are allies with We need to get going. This is not good. Oh no. How many things? Oh no. We might have made a big mistake. Maybe we should have just talked to the drone. Oh no.
Well,
He's like
it's
looking
too late
around
to
like,
undo that.
uh-oh.
Why? Because he thinks the drone now are gonna think that we like did
Like
something.
of course they're gonna come and look for us now, because.
They saw. Well, they didn't see us with her.
But I mean,
We're in the area. They know we're buddies with her.
I know we went into the house anyway. She could have eaten us for all they know.
I'm sure
They don't know whose
questions
house
for
it
us.
is, right? Either way,
And
we've dealt with Droon before. Droon are old news for us.
is there any change to the surface of the water or the weather? Is it still as auspicious as it has always been since the dawn of the morning?
How long do you think you would stay here in this place before picking up?
The storm's coming in, right? You said?
It's not exactly like you can predict that there's a storm. It it's that feeling, like it's like there's the choppy waters, the darkening of the sky, but there's no storm necessarily that has descended upon you.
And it's still like
It's overcast and misty. Yeah,
it's hard to see. Okay, because I was gonna say we don't see like Hoarblight Keep in the distance or anything.
No, but you are like on the shoreline of this massive lake. Like you can't see across to the other side of this lake. So like, and
Right.
the word Lake Longmere has been said enough that you know that you basically have your way of finding it if you just continue north along the shoreline here.
So I think that's maybe like give it an hour to see if a gigantic golem bursts out of the lake. Otherwise, I think we get going.
Yeah.
So
And what time of day is it now?
if you wait an hour, we'll say it's like about noon.
So we still could do some travel late in
Yeah.
the day. Yeah, an hour seems like it could. That seems good.
So you wait about an hour. There's not really a change necessarily in the environment exactly. It just remains very choppy. You're listening to it's almost calming maybe in a way to hear the crashing of those waves on the rocks and taking in the cooler air, the mist, and you take your rest, just looking out into the lake, hoping to see some maybe evidence of what has happened to Paulith, and if there's any confirmation of what, whether it was successful, or will you yourselves see a god of whatever that looks like. But nothing really changes.
No overturned boat, no bodies floating in the water, just
nope. But so you pick up all your things, and you maybe are going to make the switch back up to the better vantage point so you can follow the cliffside along the lake. And maybe as you're like climbing up the stairway, that's when like the wind really picks up and starts like coming off of the lake really hard, and is chilling you. The air pressure kind of just drops, and the clouds really darken, almost black sky,
like black or
just like so opaque that like light is really struggling to filter on down. Like it almost feels nighttime or pre-dusk. And you hear this like screech, this like monstrous screech yell out from the middle of the lake. And the waters are like really like waves are crashing down now, like there's something in the middle of the lake that has caused these massive waves.
oh boy.
Bingo.
Like if you had ever heard the screech of a dragon, like it kind of sounds like that ferocity.
That's serious. Oh, man. Yeah, there's nothing we can do though, right? Like it's just that's all we hear.
Nothing we can do now.
I mean, we could have wrestled our friend away from her friend, I guess.
It's not our battle. We're here for the keep. We're here to stop the Nag Lord. Can't kill every god.
Oh, that sounds like this god may have a bone to pick with the Naglord themselves, and we have an ally in hopefully the person who survived resurrecting them or summoning them. So we shall see.
And really, if we were to take her word for it, it's not the only quick iron out there. It's not like some unprecedented being has come into being, right? So I feel okay about this. I'll sleep well tonight.
Yeah, our protege brought Dagon into the world. No big deal.
So you continue up the stair, and you get to the top of the cliffside and start to move about throughout the rest of the day to make some more traction to head up north. Is there anything that anybody wants to do or discussions that you wish to have as you finish out the day? Hearing none.
Mm-mm.
I feel like it's a very somber day. This was
Friar's,
like
yeah, he's quiet. He's
Yeah,
not really
like-
saying much.
Geoffrey was snot crying. It's a rough day. It was an emotional day.
In some ways, I feel like it might get that way just in reality as we finish this session, because I am going to say that this is the end chapter of, I guess, the Dolmenwood experience that we've been doing from all the way back to the session 0 that we did up till now. This will be the final thing that I upload anywhere that's called specifically Dolmenwood using old school essentials. But it's not necessarily the end of our story or our journey. You'll just have to search for it differently, because from here on out, we're going to enter into the story of exploring Hoarblight Keep. And the content that we will be doing is going to be Castle Scintilling, which is a homage, I guess. It is a tribute to wacky dungeon crawls like Castle Amber or Teagle Manor. And so it is the content that we are using as our surrogate for Hoarblight Keep. And so we will introduce that in our next session together. But they will, from here on out, you'll be able to find these as the Castle Scintilling on our YouTube page, or I think we'll continue to record the audio maybe and keep putting that up on the Patreon for people to listen to if they like. But it'll be a little bit of a different experience because we're going to be doing some dungeon crawling for now. And I think someday in the future, we may return to like Dolmenwood, but I want to do that after the Kickstarter has fulfilled and start to use because we were always in a weird spot. We were using the old school essentials version of the rules. Dolmenwood has evolved so much, and I think it's been around for like over a decade now. Like whether you were following the zines that it first came out into or followed Gavin's Patreon. So I just would like to start from scratch in once that comes out, and we'll use this as our stopgap for now. But the exciting thing with that is that we want to invite people to come along on the journey with us. Obviously, I know a lot of people maybe are not comfortable being on stream or being recorded, but if you are comfortable with that, we would invite you to come and be a part of this, because I think our narrative at some point, not this immediate session after this, but 2 sessions from now, we'll open things up to be able to sign up for people that have enjoyed being on this journey with us. You can create your own level 1 hireling and come and join us for the journey. So that's another reason for you to join our Discord, because that's where I will post the signups when we have them. So, and this will be predictable. Basically, at the start of each month, every Saturday at the beginning of the month at 8 p.m. Central, that's when the game will happen. So it'll be a mix. It'll be a mix of old characters. It'll be a mix of new characters, and it's just going to be kind of the old open table kind of system where whoever shows up, and that's the adventure we're having. So I'll try to like incorporate some of the narrative of Dolmenwood into the dungeon setting, but I'm going to take some liberties with it to, try to make it fit. It doesn't 100% fit with Dolmenwood, so there'll have to be some work to be done to make it work. But yeah, any thoughts about any of that?
I'm excited. I think it's great. I think this is a great setting for that type of thing too, because adding, bringing a level 1 character is so easy, and it's just a natural fit, and it doesn't it's also nice because the way that this works, level 1, level 2, level 3 play really nice together, because it's not like this massive power spike change, So I think it's going to be great. It's going to be a lot of fun, and I think the hireling angle too is really interesting. It just lets people kind of experiment, So I'm in favor. I'm hoping we get some Bragels up in this game.
Yeah, I know. I know we had at least one person that is interested in joining us, and I'm sure there's a few more that I just didn't know about this yet. So, yeah, I just want to say. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. No. Go ahead.
I just wanted to take a moment to thank everybody who did listen to this on all the different places that it got posted or watched it or whatever, because I don't know, it was really cool to create the podcast because I'd never done that before, and I was a little skeptical whether anybody would listen to it, but it was so cool to be I went to Gen Con and I had people they'd seen it. I had someone mentioned hey, you do the Dolmenwood podcast, so I don't know, it was just cool to hear that people cared to listen to it, and it was also useful for us, I think, when we had people missing or whatever, to give them the audio version of it to be kind of a quicker recap, maybe to catch back up with what we were doing. I just want to say thank you to everybody who ever left a comment or anything on our videos, because I always get a charge out of that when people leave, especially positive remarks. And we've never had a negative thing that's ever said about Dolmenwood. So it was always positivity that I got from all those comments. And I wanted to read, this was the really rare thing. Somebody found the way to email my 20 Sides email account. And I asked them if I had permission to say this. This is maybe my appreciation or my gratitude is for everybody that ever sent a message. But JD sent me an email saying, "Morning, Alex. I just wanted to take a moment to thank you for the great times you've given us with the Dolmenwood campaign. My 7-year-old daughter and I listen to a part of each episode during our school drives, and we're currently enjoying episode 22. It's become a special part of our daily routine. We look forward to listening to you and the rest of the crew each day. I just wanted to share how much joy and inspiration your imagination brings to people like us. It's truly uplifting. Have a good one, JD." And I'm almost like tearing up a little bit reading that, because now that I'm a parent, just the idea that somebody is sharing our gameplay and inspiring their kids to make believe. We got so many different digital outlets right now, just the idea of engaging in storytelling, and that this is something that anybody can do is kind of cool.
Well, I guess we'll move into gratitude, and I'm gonna send my gratitude to Alex for just doing all this. It's a lot of work, and we've all DM'd at some point in time in our lives, and DMing it's a challenge. It takes a lot of work and takes a lot of dedication, and you've always done that, and with every game you've ever done, ever since I've ever been playing with you. But this Dolmenwood's been special, and I've greatly enjoyed it. It's been one of my favorite campaigns I've been in ever, and just I really love it. So thank you, Alex, for building the world for us to play in. I mean, exploring and letting us kind of be our characters and allowing us to role play for ridiculous amounts of time whenever you're trying to get things done, and engaging us and putting little plot beats in front of us that let us kind of be our characters. And it's been a lot of fun, and for not killing all of us, just killing one of us. So when I killed myself, let's be real, I touched the movie. It's my fault. But anyways, it's been great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'll sort of piggyback on that, man. You said something about us playing this game for almost 2 years, and I was like, oh my god, has it been that long? It feels like yesterday we just started this journey. But it's just insane to me that it's been that long, and it really is, because time flies when you're having fun. This has been one of my favorite campaigns I've played in probably my whole life as a gamer. So thank you for that, man. It in no small part to you. So appreciate it, really do.
I guess off of that, like, I think this is the first campaign where I get it. Like, these people like Lord Gasumba and those Greyhawk guys, like, they've got these campaigns that have been going for 40 years, and I'm always like, how? Like, how do they sustain the motivation to like want to stay doing the same, have that continuity thread of like a single campaign? But I kind of get it now, like, doing this, like, I wanted to have an ending, but then I'm like, but I don't want to have an ending, so let's throw this Castle Scintillin thing in here, and let's find a way to just like keep it live, like, maybe forever. I don't know, for as long as people are interested in it. Maybe we can keep it going on a less regular basis and just have it be like, yeah, once a month kind of thing, and just let it live for as long as we're having fun.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to piggyback on everybody else's gratitude to Alex. And for me, it's been part of, first of all, I was honored to even be asked to be part of this. I love the group of people that I've been playing with on a real and basic kind of level. And it's good to know that we're going to be able to continue to play together in some very different ways in the castle, sort of like community campaign way. I always appreciate the different ways that our characters end up interacting. I do regret that Thomas's character was not able to be here today. That's my one regret, because he adds a lot. I mean, the character adds a lot to everything that we do, and obviously has done that and will continue to do that. It would have been interesting to see what would have happened on the lake with Thomas there, and we'll see. So in any event, I know this isn't really an end, it's a transition, and so I'm looking forward to that, and I am equally excited as I look forward to what happens next.
I'll also do the generic piggybacking, but instead of saying one person, I'll say everybody. It's been enjoyable every other bi-weekly Saturday. Just like wake up in the morning, do all my housework. It's like, I got Dolmenwood today. This is gonna be pretty nice. Nice, relaxing time. Enjoy it, every moment of it. And sad to see that this aspect of it is going to be gone, but I look forward to what's coming next.
Yeah. Thank you all. It's been a lot of fun. This has been that solid campaign where your character, the immersion is there, right? Everyone did such a great job, and this is like a lot of people said, this is one of my favorite campaigns that I've had, and I guess I'm excited for it to continue. Yeah, it's so wild to us. Like, we're just normal people just playing this game, and it's cool that we get to connect with people. I think, I don't know, I feel like that maybe the podcast kind of format is so available and accessible to everyone. So it's been nice to hear stories, and just that you sharing kind of that moment. Very cool. Very cool that people are listening. But I mean, even if they weren't, I think we'd still be having a great time.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, we appreciate it.
It's like the icing on the cake. We're having a great time. We're hanging out with our friends, and the fact that other people enjoy it too, and it brings something positive to their lives. That's like the icing on the cake, man. If you get to do that in this world, what else? What else do you want, really? So it's cool.
Yep, it's good. I enjoy waking up and hanging out with such good people, and the characters too. But it's been a lot of fun, and I look forward to what we have for the future. What I was going to ask is, can you give us a little peek on are all races going to be available in this?
Yeah.
Future?
Yep. So I have shared it with the Patreon channel in our Discord. I guess I didn't say that. I'll let the Patreon sign up first, just as a thank you for the support and everything like that. But I will put it in our LFG channel if we've got spots available each month. But basically, the rules that are available for Castle Scintillin will be the OSE Basic, OSE Advanced, or the OSE version of Dolmenwood, which I will make available, like the character creation rules and such, and anything can be on the table. So we're not gonna lock the Wood Grew and the Moss Dwarf and all those things will be like available if someone wants to play them. We're at an advanced stage in the campaign where it's not unreasonable to see these things as hirelings now. So I think you saw everything, right? Like you saw. Was there anything that you didn't see? I think you saw everything.
No, we saw the Wood Grew very briefly, like
Yeah.
kind of in a foresty party situation, and then everything else definitely.
Yeah. As an aside, this session.
I thought it grew all night long.
That's right. Yeah. I think this session marked like the last big thing, because we hadn't dug into Gwig Irons or the Witches. I think it was like the last big faction to like have any kind of interaction with. So that was kind of cool that I think we hit every single thing, even if it was like shallow. We like touched on all of the different aspects of Dolmenwood to a degree.
Did we fuck the world up, Alex, by letting this happen?
I don't know. We don't know what happened. Maybe that was just
don't know what happened.
Find out.
there's just something that lives in the lake, and maybe it was always there. I don't know.
Yeah, it's probably not even a Gwig Iron. It probably just was a dragon, and they just got eaten, and there's now an angry water dragon.
We'll never know. God
I'm
damn the weather conditions, man. Those.
Man, those yeah. Damn that weather.
I'm betting on Paula. She's going to wrestle that dragon brain right into submission.
I
Like
will
I gave her
say,
that dagger, you know.
if we play this campaign long enough, I am sure that this would be something that would get revisited at some point. It's big enough event. But in the immediate term, nothing will have visibly changed in the world. So
If you're ever in Hoarblight Keep and you run across a witch lady with tentacles popping out of her head,
Uh-huh.
Say hi, Paula.
yeah, say hello.
every Medusa that you ever come across is going to be suspect from here on out.
Oh, man. It's just hard to believe it's here, but also really exciting it's here.
Well, we appreciate the chat's interaction and giving us the rerolls and such.
Yeah.
That always helps change and tilt fate, so that's awesome. Well, I think that'll be it. I think we're going to close out here for the morning, or the afternoon now for me. Thanks everyone for hanging out. Thanks players for playing. We will continue this. We will pick up. I mean, really, we're making a big deal of like this is like an end or transition or whatever. But we'll be back in 2 weeks. It'll be like we will see us again at 10 a.m. In 2 weeks on Saturday. So, yeah, we'll look forward to seeing you there for that. Let's throw a raid out as we close out. Oh, I hear a doggy. It must be the Friars.
That's right.
Yes.
Benny. Oh, do
He's downstairs.
not cry, Benny. We will be back in 2 weeks, Benny.
Awesome.
It
Thanks.
won't be 6 months again this time.
He doesn't
All right.
believe you.
We'll throw a raid to Guild Superior and say hello to them this morning. So thanks everyone. We'll see you soon.
Bye.
Goodbye.